What's up guys, this is your favorite fanfic YouTuber, the Fanfic Majesty, and welcome to another amazing video. You can follow me on Patreon for exclusive stories. 5AK Chapter 111 Wood Style Burial Technique, the strongest illusion distinguished heavenly gods. Advertisement, Obito. How dare you betray me? The masked man pointed at him and said with anger. Do you know what the price of betraying me Uchiha Madara will be? I will make your life worse than death. Kneel down and beg me to spare you. Stop pretending, you're not Uchiha Madara. Obito revealed without mercy. Although you pretend to be similar, your Susanoo is white, while Uchiha Madara's Susanoo is blue. This Susanoo color cannot be disguised. A fake is a fake. Goods. You just replaced me and became Uchiha Madara's pawn. Why should you deceive yourself? Project Tsuki no Mi is not as beautiful as you think at all. I advise you to turn around and find the shore. What do you know? Little brat. The masked man said hysterically. I would rather be Lord Madara's chess piece. Even if I lose my life, it doesn't matter. There is no end to the sea of suffering and I can turn back to the shore. You don't know how I have lived these years? Why should you let me turn back? Uchiha Kagami. I will let him die, including you Obito and Shisui. Today I will let you all die without a burial. Ah, wood-style burial technique, stab, stab. The ground suddenly surged. A large number of vines kept coming out, trying to strangle everyone. Seeing this scene, Shisui was stunned. Wood-style? This guy actually knows wood-style? Shisui, stay back. Leave it to me, wood-style chaos of hell. Obito clasped his hands together. Half of the body continued to expand. A huge tree rose from the ground and began to collide with the vines. The trees seemed to be alive. Boom. Boom. A lot of sawdust flying. The ground became dilapidated, and it was obvious that the two were evenly matched. Obito's eyes narrowed slightly, and he thought to himself, this guy's wood style is not any weaker than mine. Although I don't have off-phase white Zetsu to help me now, after Orochimaru's technological transformation of me, the other half of my body also has Hashirama cells. So this wood style is definitely better than last time. And the wood style of the masked man in front of me is not weaker than me. Either more than half of his body has been sown with Hashirama cells, or he has the blood of the Senju clan hidden in his body. However, the possibility of the latter is too small. The masked man stood not far away. He looked very calm, but his heart became more and more depressed. Damn it. Is Mangekyō Sharingan so worthless? Even if Obito is there, Shisui is also there. Originally, he wanted to capture Shisui alive as quickly as possible, but in the end, he was delayed until more troops came over. If this continues, if Uchiha Kagami also comes, it will be really dangerous. Before he could think about it, suddenly, there was a sound of space distortion coming from behind. Obito appeared quietly behind him and touched his palm with his palm, but the masked man was not to be outdone and activated the time and space ninjutsu. Tisk. Tisk. The moment of touch, the two spaces were distorted almost at the same time. But under the action of the two forces, the space immediately stopped rotating. Huh? It's true. Obito raised his eyebrows slightly. The masked man seemed to react faster. Susanoo condensed instantly, and the chakra in her palm quickly gathered. Obito. You only have one Mangekyō Sharingan, how can you compete with me? Haha. Go to hell. Yasaka Magatama, the masked man sneered. His attacks came quickly. Advertisement he has more combat awareness than the young Shisui and Obito. This time the attack was also as fast as lightning, but Obito didn't panic at all. He didn't even use Kamui to avoid the damage. Instead, he blocked the flame ball in front of him. Uchiha rebound. What? The masked man was stunned. The Magatama landed on the flame ball fan. It fell into calm and then exploded. Boom. The explosion caused by the astonishing shockwave shattered a corner of the mask on the masked man's face, and he hit the tree. Blood spilled from the corner of his mouth, looking miserable. Not only that, his right hand was also broken, but there was white mucus coming out, which looked exactly like Obito. Although he reacted quickly just now, in order to counterattack quickly, he could only use the initial Susanoo to use Yasaka Magatama. And Magatama's attack is quite powerful. You know, even Onoki and Gaara had to use double defense to barely resist. Susan in his initial form couldn't defend at all. Damn. The masked man couldn't hold himself any longer. Didn't I take this flame fan away? How could it be in your hands? You don't even know this, Obito sarcastically said. Uchiha Madara fought with Uncle Mirror in Kirigakure. Madara admired him and gave him the flame fan as a gift. You don't even know this. Why are you pretending to be Uchiha Madara? Ah, Uchiha Madara himself hasn't told you, right? No way? No way? Aren't you Uchiha Madara's confidant? Don't you even know this? Shut up. The masked man was furious. Of course he didn't know, and Mr. Ben didn't tell him. As for these juniors, Uchiha Madara's fan was snatched away, and she is still a big shot. Who would tell such a shameful thing? And the masked man in front of me. Apparently the information is out of date, and it is believed that the Homura fan was taken away by Madara a long time ago. Even when he saw the fan behind Obito, he didn't doubt it. Instead, he instinctively felt that the fan was just a fake. Who would have thought? Did Uchiha Madara lose the fan himself? The masked man's eyes were full of anger, and he couldn't help but use his trump card to kill both the two brats in front of him. However, suddenly, the hair on the masked man's hair suddenly stood up. Seeing this scene, the Shisui in front of him had a fierce look in his eyes. If you don't run, you'll be doomed. What trump card is this guy going to use? Run, Shisui said, distinguished heavenly gods. And it focuses on the enemy, and the chakra continues to converge towards the eyes. Tisk. Tisk. The alarm bells in the whole person's heart are ringing loudly. Danger, big danger is coming. Sharingan was forcibly activated and transformed into Mangekyō again. Before Shisui finished accumulating power, the masked man's scarlet eyes moved. Some other day. Obito asked curiously. Oh, the strongest illusion? What is it called? Uchiha Shisui couldn't help but sigh. It's a pity. My chakra was consumed too much before, and it was too slow to perform this move. But this move is my strongest illusion. The masked man will definitely not be able to escape as long as he is hit by it. Masked man, don't even think about leaving today. He was so frightened that he used the time and space ninjutsu on the spot, teleported himself away, and disappeared from the spot. Chapter 112. It's essential to be on guard against others, the hidden role of distinguished heavenly gods. Advertisement, distinguished heavenly gods. Obito nodded. What is the specific function? This can't be said. My grandfather told me. The reason why the trump card is that no one knows it. Shisui showed an embarrassed smile. I originally thought it would be okay to tell a few close people, but my grandfather asked me not to disclose it to anyone. I'm sorry, Obito. You and I have such a good relationship, next time I will invite you to my house for barbecue. Ha ha ha. I won't ask anymore, just skewers. Obito was confused though. But he didn't ask any more questions, but what Uncle Jing said is indeed right. The reason why the trump card is that no one knows what the trump card is. There is actually a risk if someone close to you finds out, because you don't know if this person will leak it accidentally. And for Shisui, there is no way Uchiha Kagami will let him go the same way. Original story. Shisui was attacked by Danzo. Everyone thought that Shisui possessed Mangekyō. How could he be attacked by Danzo? But in fact, Shisui trusted the higher-ups in Konoha. Including Danzo, the distinguished heavenly gods were originally only known to Hiruzen. However, Hiruzen leaked it to Danzo, which caused Danzo to become evil, but Shisui was completely unprepared. In addition, Danzo used Izanagi to eliminate the control of Sharingan's genjutsu, and Shisui was stunned in an instant. By the time his eyes were gouged out, it was already too late to react. As for the most powerful illusion, distinguished heavenly gods. It can silently tamper with other people's will. This bug-level illusion must be hidden and must not be disclosed to anyone. It will definitely come in handy in the future. Obito thought for a while and handed the fan to Shisui. By the way, give the fan back to Uncle Jing. Before leaving. Uncle Jing asked me to help you, so I took this by the way. It feels good, use. Okay, it's a pity that the masked man was not caught. Shisui couldn't help but regret. But the strength of the masked man cannot be underestimated. He seems to be an Uchiha tribesman older than us. But who it is, the mask that just broke is too small and can't be seen clearly. I didn't see it clearly, but this guy has a broken arm. Even if it can be repaired with white Zetsu cells. I guess he won't dare to come here for a while. Let's go back first and report to Uncle Jing. Obito answered Road. Yeah, let's go. Obito pressed on Shisui's shoulder. Kamui was activated and it didn't take long to return to Konoha. Certainly, also brought back the 5 people from Kirigakure. Ching and the 4 missed shinobi Chunin were all imprisoned, and the 2 returned to the Uchiha tribe and reported the whole process to Uchiha Kagami. White Susanoo. Uchiha Kagami looked strange and thought to himself. It is different from any Susanoo color in the original work. It seems that this guy is not anyone in my memory. It is also the change caused by me bringing back Obito. But even that doesn't hurt. No matter how powerful this person is, can he be compared to Uchiha Madara? Now he only has to go to Mount Myoboku with Jiraiya to learn the free senjutsu. And he will be able to gather the senjutsu from the 3 holy places, and then realize the freedom and extremely domineering senjutsu. That is, infinite immortal technique, advertisement. As for Rinnegan, if it really doesn't work, I can only resort to cheating. It had been so many years since he had possessed the eternal Mangekyō Sharingan, and the fact that the Rinnegan showed no signs of awakening was proof enough that it had been a long time coming. And, it may not really be possible to awaken, because Uchiha Madara is the chakra reincarnation of Indra. Perhaps this is the reason why Uchiha Madara awakened the Rinnegan before dying, and the same is true for Sasuke. Otherwise, why the entire ninja world? Apart from the Otsutsuki clan, there are only 3 Rinnegan. However, cheating and awakening Rinnegan also requires a method, because the favorability tasks are also randomly refreshed. Who knows when the next mission will come? It's not certain whether the reward is a Rinnegan or not. Just as he was deep in thought, Obito in front of him pondered for a moment and said, Uncle Mirror, I heard Uchiha Madara say. Mangekyō can only exert the true power of the Uchiha clan by gathering both eyes. Is it true? It's true. What's wrong? Jing asked. Then can I take the Kakashi one back first? Obito asked anxiously. Yes, why not? Uchiha Kagami said with great interest. But didn't you tell me before that the Sharingan was given to Kakashi as a gift from Jonin, and you would be embarrassed to have it back? What made you change your mind? Obito took a deep breath and said, because Shisui has also awakened Mangekyō, and the masked man also possesses Mangekyō Sharingan, and even has the same time and space ninjutsu as me. This time fighting this person. I am a little powerless. Originally, I thought one eye might be enough, but now it seems that it would be better to have both eyes together. My other Mangekyō can use Kamui from a distance, and can even focus with sight to twist other people's heads off. But that masked man can't do it. If I have both eyes, I might be able to beat that masked man. Uchiha Kagami said thoughtfully. Good idea, but you underestimate Kamui's potential. If you gather both eyes, not only will you have Susanoo, but you will also be able to infuse the power of Kamui into Susanoo. When Obito left, Uchiha Kagami's face returned to calm and looked at Shisui aside. The space twisted and left here. Really? Can I do it? Obito was a little worried. The function of distinguished heavenly gods. You didn't tell Obito, did you? Obito nodded. Even wood style is not impossible. Your Kamui is stronger than you think. Maybe you can become the strongest Hokage as much as Hashirama by then. Shisui, you must be on guard against others. Grandfather, why? Well, do you want to hide it from Obito? I don't quite understand. Obito has found his way back from his lost ways now, so he doesn't need to be on guard anymore, right? Shisui wondered. Well, that's enough. Of course, adults don't lie to children. If you don't understand in the future, you can come and ask me for advice. Although I don't know Kamui, I still have some attainments in time and space ninjutsu. I might as well give you some inspiration. Uchiha Kagami looked slightly condensed and said, Obito has returned from his lost ways now, but Lin has not been resurrected yet. Wait until Lin is resurrected, in case she dies again. I know, see you Uncle Jing. Obito's eyes were full of gratitude and guilt. I complained about you at the beginning. It was so wrong of me. I shouldn't have treated my elders like this. Will Obito do something stupid again? It's hard to say. Thank you Uncle Jing, thank you. No, I only said my name. Shisui nodded. Okay, let's not mention the past anymore and look forward. Uchiha Kagami patted his shoulder, blinked and teased. Go directly to Kakashi. I believe Kakashi will return the Sharingan to you. But you have to find other Jonin gifts to make up for him. Chapter 113 Obito. Kakashi, can you give me back my Sharingan? Advertisement, huh? Really? Shisui wondered. Of course, let me ask you. I am still young now, but when I am old and can no longer walk, the top management of Konoha will change one after another, thinking that I am superior to the master. And they will kill me with conspiracy. Will you take revenge on Konoha? I can. I will never let go of anyone who hurts my loved ones. Shisui nodded heavily. Yes, you will do this. Obito will also do this because of the people close to him, and he will even do it more extreme than you. The world is always changing. And the human heart is the most unpredictable. Just in case, not a bad idea. Uchiha Kagami said calmly. It would be best if everything goes as usual for Obito, but if something unexpected happens, your distinguished heavenly gods will work, of course, not just Obito, but also other high-level officials of Konoha. For example, Sarutobi Hiruzen, Utatane Kaharu, Mitokado Homura, it's all possible. I see. Shisui nodded heavily, and Jing smiled and ruffled his hair. I couldn't help but feel a little relieved in my heart. This was the result of his personal teachings over the years. He had been taught by his grandfather's words and deeds. He is no longer the innocent child he was before. In the world of Hokage, it doesn't mean that the higher your intimacy, the safer you are. There will always be people who break down emotionally and kill the people who were good to them. Patricide, and patricide are all very common old traditions. Even his second brother Senju Tobirama will deal with him mercilessly if he is unfavorable to Konoha. This world, everyone has their own bottom line. Everyone is happy until the bottom line is crossed. When the bottom line is crossed, it doesn't matter whether you are my parents or not, or whether you are my teacher. As long as you stop me, I will kill you first. It's so unreasonable. And Obito, if it can be used once, it will be used a second time. Shisui's distinguished heavenly gods can effectively prevent this kind of thing from happening. It can subtly tamper with the will without being discovered. There are many places where it can be used in the future. The mountains behind Konoha village, at the training ground, Kakashi is practicing sword skills. Hitaki Tsukumo on the side was teaching him and scolding him from time to time. No. The handle of the knife is held in the wrong position. You have to use force with your palm. How can you kill someone if you can't even hold the blade? Power. Where is your power? You don't use any power at all. No wonder my white fang short sword was chopped into pieces by a garbage Jonin. Kakashi finally couldn't help it anymore and retorted unconvinced. What's the use of practicing sword skills? I am now Sharingan Kakashi. With Sharingan, I can see through the enemy's flaws, and I can kill people with ordinary sword skills. But is this Sharingan yours? Hitaki Tsukumo asked. Why isn't it mine? Obito gave it to me as a Jonin gift. Does he still plan to take it back? We have a good relationship now. Obito is not that kind of person. Kakashi pouted. That's not necessarily the case, child. After all, what belongs to others, not yours. Hitaki Tsukumo sighed. Back then, I didn't have as many ninjutsu as you. I kept practicing sword skills. And then I got the title of Konoha's White Fang. Even Third Raikage was amazed by my sword skills. But he abandoned it. Why don't you give up? You also boasted that you defeated the Third Raikage with Uncle Mirror. What happened? Kakashi lost his temper and put the knife on the ground. In fact, it didn't cause any harm to Third Raikage. If I hadn't grown up, I would have thought you were as strong as Uncle Jing. What a big liar. It's obvious, Kakashi who has not lost his father's love. He's not that mature now, he still can't get rid of his immaturity now, even though he is 15 years old. Advertisement, and heard the child's words. Hitaki Tsukumo was silent for a few seconds, with a bitter look on his face. I lied to you in the first place. It was my fault. I did not cause any harm to Third Raikage, but I used Hitaki's sword to smash his full defense, sand iron. I'm not as strong as you think, but I'm not weak either. Besides, what father doesn't want his children to be proud of themselves? He was indeed praised and killed at first, and it was done by Jing Yi, but he didn't complain. It was because although Konoha was powerful at that time, it was not enough to make other ninja villages bow their heads. Therefore, public opinion is needed to build momentum. Let other villages mistakenly think that Hitaki Tsukumo and Uchiha Kagami are the Konoha 2 heroes, and each of them has the ability to capture the shadow alive. As a result, the third ninja war later, he fought against the third Raikage and the fourth Raikage again, and finally lost 1 against 2, but his absolute strength surpassed that of before. Just imagine. Can hold back 2 shadows. Even though Scorpio was young at the time, he was already proud enough. It's just that Tsukumo's reputation was too great at the time, but fortunately Uchiha Kagami saved his face, but the son who thought his father was awesome since he was a child was hit hard, which shattered his childhood fantasies. Kakashi. I have seen too many powerful people over the years, such as Konoha Sannin, Yellow Flash, and even saw Mirror suppressing 9 tails by himself. It is understandable that you worship the strong, and it is okay if you want to be strong. Hitaki Tsukumo became more and more disappointed, but you at least need to have a heart that respects the strong. You are still young and have great potential. But you are still at the foot of the mountain, but you are mocking me on the mountain. No, you are not qualified. As a son, you don't respect me as a father. Do you think Obito won't want Sharingan back? Out of your personal feelings? You underestimate the pride of the Uchiha clan. Sharingan is their lifeblood. Unless they die, it won't be yours. Kakashi. You have let me down too much, father. I. Kakashi was panicked, but Hitaki Tsukumo turned around and left, his back looking very lonely. He was very sad in his heart. What he was sad about was not that his strength had been exposed. What was sad was that his son had already gone astray but was still obsessed with it. But Kakashi did not chase, but sat on the ground. The reason why he panicked was because his father had gone crazy for the first time, but he hadn't realized his mistake yet. It could even be said that he thought he was right. Sharingan. Why can't it be yours? Obito has such a good relationship with him. Can I still get the Jonin gift I gave away, however? Just when he was in a trance, the space suddenly became distorted and someone came. Obito, who wears a Jonin vest, has a straightforward personality and is a hothead when he opens his mouth. Kakashi, can you give me my Sharingan back? Kakashi. Circle.operator. Oh circle.operator. Chapter 114 Obito. I did this all for Lin advertisement. Speak the truth, Kakashi is confused now. He originally thought that based on his relationship with Obito, Obito would not take Sharingan back, but now he was slapped in the face. As for my father, Hitaki Tsukumo, everything he just said came true. Obito frowned and said, what's wrong, Kakashi? Is there any difficulty? No, I just can't figure it out. Didn't you say you gave me this Sharingan as a Jonin gift? Kakashi clenched his fists. Yes, but at that time I thought I was dead, so I gave Sharingan to you. But now that the war is over, there are also very powerful enemies in Konoha. I must gather my eyes to become stronger. Obito explained. No matter how powerful Uncle Jing is, Uncle Jing can sell everything if he takes action, Kakashi whispered. Kakashi, you are wrong to think like this. Although Uncle Jing is very strong, it doesn't mean that we juniors don't have to do anything. Obito looked at him and persuaded. We must also contribute to Konoha and share the worries of Uncle Jing, instead of relying entirely on the elders. Otherwise, how can we juniors be on our own? Are you educating me? I don't. Kakashi suddenly became furious, and there was anger in his eyes. I think you are educating me. Obito, don't think that you can reprimand me by becoming a hero of Konoha. Obito, I became a Jonin earlier. I am the youngest Jonin in all of Konoha. I am the genius of the Hitaki family. I will definitely surpass you, even without this shabby Sharingan. Kakashi, we are friends. How can you talk like this? Obito said very uncomfortable. Friends? Friends go back on their word. Do you want to take back what you promised? I don't have friends like you. Goodbye. Kakashi was furious. He picked off the Sharingan, threw it to the other party, and turned around to leave. Obito took over Sharingan. Looking at the back of my best friend, I felt a little overwhelmed. Why? Why did things develop like this? I just wanted my Sharingan back, but the relationship between the two parties broke down. He actually thought at the beginning that if he teamed up with Kakashi, he might be able to unleash the full power of Mangekyō. But here comes the problem. Kakashi is a person, not an object. He always has his own private life and cannot always be with him, and the masked man possesses time and space ninjutsu, which poses a considerable threat to Konoha. If he and Kakashi team up, they fail to defeat each other immediately. So, with Kakashi as a weak point, he will definitely be targeted. If he is killed by the masked man, he will lose his second relative, which he will never allow. But he couldn't understand why Kakashi was angry. Kakashi, you are so immature now. Obito clenched his fists and comforted himself in his heart. But I have got my Sharingan back. If I meet that masked man next time, I can defeat him completely and prove myself like Uncle Mirror. By then, we will be one step closer to resurrecting Lin. As for Kakashi, hey, I can only wait until I have the opportunity to explain and apologize to him later. If it wasn't for Lin, I wouldn't have wanted this Sharingan. He wants to return to Sharingan, of course, to resurrect Lin. What Obito wants is not a resurrection like in Pure World Reincarnation, but a true resurrection, which requires the use of Rinne Tensei technique. But this technique, only Rinnegan can do it. Nagato is Uncle Mirror's disciple, but he will not do this willingly. As the strongest member of the Uchiha clan closest to Rinnegan, Uncle Mirror has developed and improved a large number of ninjutsu. He may not be able to improve the low-load Rinne Tensei technique in the future, and then Lin can be resurrected. Advertisement and I need to prove. At least it proves that on the basis of not making mistakes, if he can win the masked man, Uncle Jing will value him more. So, Lin's resurrection goes a step further. He did this all for Lin. Kakashi, I'm sorry. On the main street of Konoha, Kakashi walked down the street alone. Bloodline covered his left eye socket, but the intense sadness overwhelmed his pain, causing him to barely notice it. What a bullshit friend. Kakashi clenched his fists, feeling aggrieved. My father was right. He values the Sharingan more than anyone else. Even if he joins hands with me, he can unleash the full power of Kamui. Sharingan Kakashi has disappeared since then, so is it Hitaki Kakashi? Do you want to apologize to your father and learn swordsmanship? No, I don't want to. I am not wrong. Uncle Jing will definitely support me, huh? Unconsciously, Kakashi came to the land of the Uchiha tribe. Dong dong dong, there was a knock on the door of the courtyard. Shisui opened the door and saw Kakashi with bloodline Madara in his left eye. He was immediately panicked. Kakashi, what's wrong with your eyes? Stop the bleeding quickly. Ah, I hurt so much, Shisui. Obito wants Sharingan back. We have broken up. Woo-woo. Only then did Kakashi react. Covering his left eye socket, he knelt on the ground while crying. Huh? A breakup? Shisui expressed shock. No, why would there be a breakup if we took back a Sharingan? But he immediately thought of the reason. Kakashi is also a proud person and a very strong genius. In Kakashi's eyes, Obito, you are my best friend, but you never keep your word. The Sharingan that he promised to give to him was going back, which almost made him feel that all the feelings between friends were fake. And for Obito, at that time, he thought that he was going to die, which was equivalent to giving his most precious relic to Kakashi, but the problem was that he was still alive now. We must get the relics back, and there seems to be no problem at all. From a personal point of view, there seems to be no problem with these two people, but here comes the problem. There is no problem with these two people, so where is the problem? Actually, or is it caused by Kakashi's subjective thoughts? From a god's perspective, the current Kakashi is not the boy who lost his father when he was young, but a ninja who has been hailed as a genius since he was a child. He is arrogant and has strong self-esteem, with the encouragement and education of various elders. Kakashi considers himself the hope of Konoha's future, not to mention that Kage has always said that he has the potential to be a Hokage, so the problem is that Obito is also considered by Kage to have the potential to be a Hokage. The ambitions of these two people are all pointing to the same point. And the two boys, one Hitaki genius, and the other Konoha boy hero. Who is not proud? Today's young people, if they are not arrogant, can they still be called young people? Chapter 115 Jiraiya. Tsunade treats me as a lifelong friend. Advertisement. They all want to compete for the Hokage position. Therefore, they started to get serious with each other. Kakashi has not experienced the despair of life and death like Obito. In fact, his personality is relatively more immature and easier to stress. Not to mention the name open black lens bracket Sharingan Kakashi close black lens bracket, let a certain Hitaki mistakenly think that he is closer to Hokage's seat. But now, you told me you wanted Sharingan back? In addition, Obito has a straightforward personality and makes no secret of his wishes. He also believes that Kakashi, as a good friend, will understand him, while Obito, as a mature person, treats his good friend in an educational tone. How could the arrogant Kakashi endure this? In fact, even if Obito were a little more tactful and his tone was softer, it would not lead to the current situation, but as for a break, it would not be a problem at all. Now it's just a quarrel at most, and the two of them are having a big quarrel. It definitely takes Kakashi or Obito to take the initiative to bow their heads, but Shisui doesn't have a god's perspective. He just thinks that these two people are right from his own point of view. But looking at it from his personal perspective, Kakashi's problem was bigger. While Shisui was treating his wounds, he said politely, Kakashi, you are not breaking up. You just had a quarrel. Don't make it serious. You are the best friends. Best friend? How can he have the nerve to go back, my best friend? Although Sharingan is indeed his, he has already given it to me. How can a human being go back on his words? Kakashi said aggrievedly. But those are Obito's relics. Now that Obito is not dead, isn't it normal for people to want to go back? Those are eyes and not an object, right? Shisui said gently. That's what I said, but I still feel uncomfortable, Kakashi said. I would like to ask, what makes you uncomfortable? Is that Obito directly angers you, or that you want to get closer to the Hokage through Sharingan, but were interrupted by Obito, so you are uncomfortable? This? A little of both. Yes, Shisui, I won't lie to you, I have them all. Kakashi lowered his head and lowered his eyes. Ever since I can remember, Uncle Jing has said that I have the potential to be a Hokage. I didn't believe it before. I just thought that Uncle Jing was trying to trick children into being happy, but then Uncle Jing became stronger and stronger. In terms of strength and all aspects, he is no less than first Hokage-sama, so I believe in his vision. Sharingan is indeed very convenient. but I don't value it that much, but Obito doesn't respect me. He also educated me in an experienced tone, thinking that I should share the worries of the elders and shouldn't let Uncle Jing do everything. Of course I knew that. Why should he educate me? I was not convinced at the time and said that on purpose. I also want to be a Hokage, and I also want to share the burden for Konoha, especially since you and Kakashi both fought that masked man. I also hope that I can help you next time. But, Obito, this B********D, doesn't consider me a friend at all. He wants Sharingan from me as soon as we meet, as if I covet his Sharingan. I don't care, I will never talk to him again. Shisui suddenly understood after hearing this. It seems that the contradiction in the matter has been completely clear. In fact, these two people are just at odds with each other. They both care about face and don't want to be tactful. As long as one party bows his head, it will be fine. But now, looking at Kakashi's appearance, he thought there was nothing he could do. So Shisui smiled and pretended to be angry. Obito is really not a friend enough. Even if Sharingan is his. How can he ask for it at the first word? It's really inappropriate. I'll find Obito to apologize to you tomorrow. I don't want his apology. I don't care. What a bullshit friend. I'll never talk to him again anyway. Kakashi curled his lips in disdain. But the two fingers rubbed left and right, showing that he didn't mean what he said. Advertisement. Shisui smiled and hugged his shoulders. Okay, Obito has such a character, what can I say? He never has a brain, why bother with him? Wait until I ask him to apologize to you. Just make up, for the sake of me and my grandfather, okay? This? Kakashi tilted his head proudly. Okay, but I only forgive him for the sake of Uncle Jing and you. It has nothing to do with his own apology. Yes, it doesn't matter. Okay, let's have lunch together. My mother made octopus balls. Don't you like them? Shisui said gently. Isn't this bad? You're all here, let's eat together. I almost forgot. I originally planned to complain to Uncle Jing. Where is Uncle Jing? Kakashi scratched his head. My grandfather has gone to see Lord Jiraiya. He is going to Mount Myoboku. It will probably take a few days. Shisui explained. Okay, let's eat first. The two of them just held each other's back. Went in to have dinner together and had a good time with Shisui's parents. Kakashi's eye sockets were naturally healed. Shisui learned many ninjutsu from Kakashi, including top medical ninjutsu, such as healing jutsu and so on. But this time, it seemed like a simple quarrel. But in fact, if handled improperly, it can easily cause psychological problems for a person. In a serious case, it is not impossible for Kakashi to become black. Although Shisui does not have God's vision, he has a delicate personality and can observe the characteristics of each person's personality, thus temporarily solving this problem from Obito's apology. It can even be said that a dark situation has been saved. But all this, Kagami, who had not yet set out for Mount Myoboku, was completely unaware. On the contrary, he and a certain Mount Myoboku sage seemed to have some problems. At Jiraiya's house, Jing went straight to the point and said, Jiraiya, I want to go to Mount Myoboku. Can you take me there? Of course, but... Jiraiya narrowed his eyes and asked, I heard that you and Tsunade are together? Uchiha Kagami nodded. We are friends, I won't lie to you. We did get together, probably just a few days ago. What? Jiraiya was confused. It was like a bolt from the blue, and Flax was stunned for a moment. Jiraiya's eyes were complicated, with shock, surprise and slight sadness, but he was an adult after all. After a while, Jiraiya took a deep breath and said, Is it the time you drank with Tsunade at your birthday party last time? Yes. She pretended to be drunk? Did she confess to you? You know her very well, Tsunade did this, and I agreed. FK. Jiraiya was full of regret, shook his head and said helplessly, I said drinking would make things worse. If I had known it, I wouldn't have drank. No, it's useless. Tsunade had planned it for a long time. She got me drunk as soon as she came to the table, just for don't let me cause trouble. You seem, how to put it, Jing was a little surprised. Do you think I should be angry, knowing that I like Tsunade and still being with Tsunade? Hey, I'm not a child anymore. Jiraiya took a sip of wine, pretending to laugh carefree and said, I know very well that Tsunade would not like me even without you, because she treats me as a lifelong friend, and I have no chance. Haha, actually this is pretty good, isn't it? Chapter 116 Wood-style high-rise building technique, I will take you to a good place. Advertisement, you see it very clearly. Uchiha Kagami looked at him. Jiraiya smiled freely, but he was still sad in his heart. As a friend, he could only pat him on the shoulder to express comfort, but there was nothing else he could say. Actually, in the original novel, does Tsunade like Jiraiya? Many people think Jiraiya is bitter and want Tsunade and Jiraiya to be together. But emotionally they have to like each other. Jiraiya has indeed liked Tsunade since childhood, but Tsunade has no such feelings for Jiraiya. The two were childhood sweethearts. Even as he got older, Tsunade could never forget Kato Dan who died in his arms. You ask Tsunade to choose to accept Jiraiya, which is actually very difficult. It cannot be done out of personal feelings or friendship. And what about Jiraiya? In fact, I have seen through this. Therefore, in the original work, he never expressed his feelings from beginning to end. It wasn't that he didn't want to be with Tsunade, but he knew that if he told her, the two of them might not even be friends. And Jiraiya, I would rather stay with Tsunade as friends for the rest of my life. Nor was he willing to let his confession cause the relationship between the two to become tense, especially after Orochimaru defected. Sannin became a second nin. Jiraiya cherishes his relationship with Tsunade even more. He doesn't want to embarrass the woman he likes because of his feelings, nor does he want them to be strangers from now on. This is Jiraiya's journey. But now, the plot has changed. Is it possible that Tsunade likes Jiraiya at all? There's a slight chance but not much, because even though Kato Dan and Tsunade didn't have a relationship, Tsunade still regarded Jiraiya as a friend. Why? Simply put, Jiraiya cannot attract Tsunade. Because we are so familiar with each other since childhood, we can't let go. But then again, Jing had no idea. Why did Tsunade suddenly like himself? Although Tsunade explained the reasons and personal charm of Nawaki, he did not believe that it was only these. Then, Uchiha Kagami said curiously, "It seems. You have known for a long time that Tsunade has been planning for a long time. Why does she have a crush on me? I mean a specific point in time, is it recently? Or some other time?" "You didn't know that, not recently." Jiraiya smiled and explained. "Tsunade has had a crush on you a long time ago. In fact, the first time you had a quarrel with Mr. Second Generation was when you had a quarrel. The Anbu actually heard that quarrel. You said you wanted to break the unspoken rules of war. You would rather make the major ninja villages surrender on your own than let the young ninjas lose their lives in vain." "Huh? So early? Wasn't that 14 years ago?" Uchiha Kagami was surprised. "Yeah, actually it might be a little later." Advertisement. Jiraiya couldn't help but sigh. "Actually, at the time, we all thought you were bragging about ending the war by yourself. Only First Hokage-sama could do this kind of thing, and since you were young at the time, Tsunade actually thought you were too crazy. But within a few months, you went to the battlefield to save Hitaki Tsukumo, defeated the Third Raikage, the Third Tsuchikage and the Third Raikage one after another, and captured them alive. Tsunade was the first to surrender, and the war was basically over at the end of the year. Speak the truth, when the intelligence came back, we thought the intelligence department was talking nonsense. Later, when you brought back the photos, I realized that you really did it. Tsunade later died because of the sacred tree, but you protected more people, young ninjas. This is what made Tsunade fall in love with you. Orochimaru got in touch with you and was recommended by you to become the Third Hokage. And because of your recommendation, we successfully obtained the title of Konoha Sannin. Needless to say, your subsequent achievements have become a new legend in the ninja world. In addition, you promised to resurrect Nawaki and use a special technique to achieve true resurrection. If others would never believe it, but along the way everyone who comes to Konoha believes in you. Tsunade's liking for you is not unfounded, it's all well-founded." Understood. Uchiha Kagami understands. So that's it seems everything has a cause and effect. Jiraiya asked curiously, "But I'm curious, why did you recommend Orochimaru to be the Third Hokage? Tsunade and I are not interested in this position. I'm just asking, besides his personal ability, are there any other reasons?" "Yes, do you really want to hear it?" Jing asked back. "Yes I do. Of course it's to keep Orochimaru from going against the grain." "Ah, how is that possible? Why is it impossible? You know Orochimaru's character best. His human experimentation is not accepted by the village, and the only person who can truly accept it is the second brother who has no moral bottom line. Well, that is Senju Tobirama." Uchiha Kagami explained patiently. "Even now, you two are not very willing to accept human experiments. If it were you two as Hokage, wouldn't it be stopped? I think there is a high probability that it will be. Even if you don't, Sarutobi Hiruzen won't agree, so I can only prevent Hiruzen from inheriting the position of Hokage, and people like Danzo will definitely use experiments to fulfill their ambitions, and defecting is inevitable." "Well, what you said makes sense." Jiraiya scratched his head and said awkwardly, "But you just say that second Hokage has no moral bottom line, isn't it bad?" "You'll know when you go." Jiraiya gave him a thumbs up. "Don't be like this. You are also a Konoha Sannin after all. You peeked at a woman taking a shower. How bad is it to spread the word?" Uchiha Kagami explained. "No, this is built with my wood-style high-rise building technique. It is extremely strong. It is impossible for it to collapse." "Well, I'll take you to a good place." Uchiha Kagami sold it out. The two of them just turned left and right and came to Konoha Center Street. But he was stopped by Jing Jungi. Where to go? The two chatted like this until late into the night, but they didn't rush to Mount Myoboku. Instead, they went to the bathhouse arm in arm. Jiraiya also wanted to peek into the women's bathhouse next door. "Awesome. It has to be you. Not many people dare to say this." "No, if you don't want to see it, why don't you let others see it?" "Damn it. It's such a tall building. Isn't this wooden building going to collapse?" Jiraiya exclaimed. "This is the most prosperous low-end area of Konoha, and it is also the most prominent place for business and entertainment, and the most prominent one is the 8-story high-rise building in the middle. It doesn't matter. Anyway, my second brother is dead. Even if he survives, I'm not afraid. He can't beat me now," Jing Very Rogue said. Jiraiya was speechless for a moment. "Besides, I'm a Sannin. How could I be discovered? The most I can do is to be discovered by Tsunade. And get beaten up. Anyway, I'm used to it, so it doesn't matter." Chapter 117 Konoha's White Fang Jin Han, resurrecting Senju Hashirama in advance. Advertisement. What the hell? Wood-style high-rise building technique? Jiraiya was confused. It's the wood style used to build buildings. You can build a building as tall as you want on the ground. We originally wanted to build a 20-story building. but the public couldn't accept it for the time being, so we had to build an 8-story building first. Jing shrugged his shoulders. Are you so extravagant, using wood style to build a building? That's all you can do? Jiraiya was amazed. The two of them just walked in, and the greeters outside the door immediately shouted enthusiastically. You two gentlemen, please come inside. Konoha's wife Fang Jinin welcomes you and wishes you a happy bath. Jiraiya was confused. Before I could react, someone led the way to the second floor. He personally took off their clothes and put on bathrobes and slippers, and there was a hot bath here. After the two of them took a shower, when we arrived on the third floor, they were all private rooms. Of course, there are private rooms for 1 person and 2 people. They are 2 people, and they are all lying on their own massage tables. Okay, come on, master, Jing clapped his hands. Immediately, rows of beauties walked in. Each one of them was very eye-catching, and although they wore a lot of clothes, the professional skirts on their lower bodies were not long, revealing their long black stockings. The upper body is also in professional attire, but the pectoralis major is very broad. Uchiha Kagami. Take your pick, just pick any technician. These are all top-notch ones. Each one costs 990 taels. Jiraiya. Choose one. Can 2 be okay? Uchiha Kagami. That's okay, I'm not short of money. Thank you, brother. Jiraiya is greedy. My mouth is almost watering. In the old world of Hokage, there aren't many entertainment venues at all. This series of beauties with black stockings made Jiraiya feel happy, and as the technician began to massage her intimately, Jiraiya was quickly defeated. Oh, not bad, not bad. The strength is just right and the technique is great. While Jiraiya was enjoying it, he said, It's such a good entertainment place, why did you just ask me to come here now? You really are not a brother. Konoha's wife Fang Jinhan has just opened. You are our first customer. Isn't that interesting enough? Jing rolled his eyes. Holy shit. Is this property yours? Jiraiya was shocked. Well, to be precise, it's the Uchiha clan's property, but as the clan leader, I get the most dividends. There are many entertainment industries like this, such as Konoha Mishue Milk Tea Shop, Ring Mall, etc. Uchiha Kagami said slowly, but they are all prototypes of the industry for the time being. They need to be fermented slowly. Although these are service industries, they will help develop the good reputation of the Uchiha family. No. Is it convenient to talk about this here? Jiraiya glanced at the female technician behind her. Of course, these technicians are all girls from the Uchiha clan. Why is it inconvenient? Jing said bluntly. Oh, you let them do this? You Uchiha clan are so arrogant, can you really do it? Will you press and hold me and strangle me to death? Jiraiya muttered. Do you think there is something wrong with the Uchiha clan? Those who are more arrogant are those with Sharingan, and the Uchiha clan has a huge base. Ordinary people account for a large part, and their personalities are normal. Uchiha Kagami rolled her eyes at him. Look at you, even the dignified Konoha Sanin has mistakenly thought that the Uchiha clan is not easy to contact, let alone ordinary villagers. Advertisement, but don't be in a hurry. After all, Minato has just taken office not long ago, so he needs to take his time. No. Why did you do this? To make the village accept Uchiha? It's not necessary, right? With your prestige in the village, they don't really hate the Uchiha clan anymore. Jiraiya didn't understand. I know, but that's not enough. Uchiha Kagami shook his head. In the future, I will push Obito to be the 5th Hokage. The 4th Ninja War will break out sooner or later, but I can't take care of the entire battlefield. Obito's double Mangekyō can be defeated just like me. Film. As for the Uchiha family, I don't need to tell you how difficult it is to become a Hokage. In fact, it would be very easy for me, but I'm not interested in this position. And Obito is too young and needs time to cultivate for the time being. And this time is just enough time for the village to accept Uchiha and accept an Uchiha boy hero as Hokage. Therefore, the reputation of the Uchiha family needs to be changed. These entertainment venues play this role and make a little money by the way. I see, you are really smart, Jiraiya said. He also roughly understood the other party's intention. Most of the Uchiha clan are normal people, but those with extreme personalities have joined the root organization and have rights but do not conflict with the village. And other ordinary people in Uchiha can change the impression of villagers. In addition, Obito is a young hero of Konoha and was awarded the Hero Medal by the 4th Hokage. All these factors combined are enough for the Uchiha clan to become a Hokage. And the internal strife within the Uchiha clan will be completely gone. After all, except for a few elders who were imprisoned in prison. There are still many radicals who believe that the Uchiha clan should seize power in the Hokage. Now that the 5th Hokage is Obito, it has solved its internal problems. It can be said that it accomplishes multiple things with one stone. The two enjoyed it until early morning and early the next morning. Jiraiya took Uchiha Kagami to Mount Myoboku and learned free Senjutsu in just 3 days. As for Mount Myoboku's Toad Sage, I also talked to him about something other than destiny, but unlike White Snake Immortal, Toad Sage talked about fate. It didn't invest anything in him, it just made him think twice before taking action. Now, he has mastered the 3 great magical arts. I returned home that afternoon and sat cross-legged on the futon. He entered a meditative state where he felt the natural energy. Soon, red and blue eyeshadow appeared around his eyes. But the next second, he felt the 3 kinds of energy starting to flow around in his body. An indescribable obstacle came to my mind, and the faces of Free Immortal Technique and Ultimate Intention Immortal Technique all disappeared. Hiss. It hurts a little. A trace of blood spilled from the corner of Uchiha Kagami's mouth, and she couldn't help but feel troubled in her heart. Although these three major senjutsu seem simple to learn, even the mildest, ultimate intention senjutsu, and the mediocre, free senjutsu, have considerable conflicts. Not to mention Ryuchi Cave's violent, domineering senjutsu. The three types of magic have different emphases, and at least a balance must be achieved first. After reaching a balance, you can slowly take the essence and discard the dross. But if you really want to completely integrate the three major magic arts, it will probably take at least a few years. The difficulty of this. I'm afraid even Hashirama spent a lot of time at that time. It's too slow, it's too long, and I can't wait. Uchiha Kagami was thinking secretly in his heart, and suddenly his eyes lit up. Wait, why don't I cheat? Infinite senjutsu is not a process from scratch, but a technique that has been created by Hashirama. As long as Big Brother gives me verbal guidance, under the aura of Ninja Professor and Forbidden Technique Master, I will definitely learn Infinite Immortal Technique, according to logic. Well, I am really a genius, haha. Don't worry, that's pure stupidity, resurrect Hashirama in advance. Chapter 118 The Science of the Ninja World, witness the resurrection of the ninja god. Advertisement, Uchiha Kagami thought to himself. However, in order to activate the free GE domineering senjutsu, instantly, you only need to obtain the pseudo-sage body, first, so before resurrecting the Big Brother, you have to find Orochimaru. The Changwu family has been bringing it back for several days, there should be some results, right? Then, he made a seal with one hand. Put your index and middle fingers together to activate the Flying Thunder God technique. Arriving at the underground laboratory in Konoha, Anko and Orochimaru were startled the moment they first appeared. I've met Mr. Mirror, Anko said cautiously. Orochimaru patted his chest and abdomen and said speechlessly, before you come to my place, can you say hello? Why don't you knock on the door? If you encounter me busy doing experiments, are you responsible if it fails? If you fail, try again. You're the #1 scientist in the ninja world. What does one failure mean? Jing boasted with a smile. Ahem, the #1 scientist in the ninja world, that's what I said, but you should say hello at least, otherwise my little heart won't be able to bear it. Orochimaru suddenly blushed. He really wouldn't take this title seriously if it were used as a compliment by others. But switching to a mirror does give me a small sense of satisfaction. After all, this person usually doesn't praise others. If he praises it, it must be the truth. Definitely next time, haha. Uchiha Kagami said with a solemn expression. I'm here to ask you about the progress of the experiment. Has the Jugo clan's physique been researched? I need to get the pseudo-immortal body, as soon as possible. How can it be so fast? It's only been a few days, Orochimaru complained. But you are the #1 scientist in the ninja world, and you don't have enough time these days. Tell me in detail, what are the difficulties in research? I don't understand even if I tell you. Well, let me explain to you briefly. The pseudo-immortal body of the Jangwoo clan can absorb natural energy involuntarily. With a slight improvement in this physique, it can be controlled freely. Orochimaru frowned and said, but the difficulty is how to transfer this constitution to your body. This requires deeper genetic research. The difficulty is completely different from the previous Hashirama Cell Perfect Potion. Oh, let me help you, Jing said with a smile. Help me? Orochimaru couldn't help but laugh. How can you help me? You don't even know the basics of science. Do you know what genetic modification is? Do you know what rejection is? These are big problems that need to be solved. I know, I won't. But I am your mascot. Wasn't it me who developed the Hashirama Cell Perfect Potion, by your side last time? This time with me. I guess it will be completed soon. Yes, Jing said with a smile. Are you serious? Seriously, let's do it. Okay, I don't know what you were talking about, but I'll give it a try first. Orochimaru chose to believe in Uchiha Kagami. Then the experiment began, conducting in-depth research on the cells of the Jangwoo family. The subject matter of the research was all the main tissues of the body such as blood, skin, bone marrow, hair, and brain cells. As a serious scientist, he cannot let go of every organization and ensures that he can extract the pseudo-immortal body. Soon, Orochimaru went into workmania mode. Why? There is still rejection after the cells are transplanted into the body. This rejection reaction is completely different from the previous Hashirama cells. It's very mysterious. Ha ha ha. I understand. It turns out that this is the secret of the immortal body. Ha ha. If you do this, the rejection will disappear. I succeeded. 3 days later, Orochimaru laughed maniacally. Advertisement. He let out a villain-like laugh. That's when. Suddenly, a mechanical prompt sounded in Jing's mind. Open black lens bracket ding. System hint. Close black lens bracket, Ninja World Science. The halo characteristic is activated. This scientific research is in line with the logical theory. The potion will definitely be successfully tested on the host. Close black lens bracket. Orochimaru, you're a genius. Give it to me, huh? Orochimaru was stunned. Don't we need to find a few experimental subjects? No, I believe in your scientific attainments. This must be a success. No, isn't this too rigorous? Rest assured. Uchiha Kagami patted his shoulder. He immediately took the potion and began to inject it into his body, slowly flowing in with the green potion. It was accompanied by a burst of pain. Uchiha Kagami exhaled a breath of turbid air and felt the natural energy being continuously sucked into his body. If it were anyone else, he would have gone berserk. But Kagami's willpower was tenacious and he could control it casually. can be in, unconscious, and conscious, freely switch between two ways of absorbing natural energy. Succeeded. Did you get pseudo-immortal body? Orochimaru said excitedly. Successful. Orochimaru, you are worthy of being the #1 scientist in the ninja world. This potion perfectly allowed me to have the pseudo-sage body. Uchiha Kagami felt it for a while and praised him. The Jugo clan's physique is the closest to Senju Hashirama. I can already feel the natural energy. It is constantly being inhaled into the body. Well done. You're welcome, but, Orochimaru asked curiously, why are you so anxious? What happened? I am too slow to re-study the 3 great senjutsu on my own, so I plan to resurrect Senju Hashirama. Uchiha Kagami said slowly, using the impure world reincarnation method and obtaining the freedom and overbearing immortal technique. Through the teachings of my elder brother will save a lot of time. Resurrection Senju Hashirama? Are you serious? Orochimaru was shocked. Don't blame him for making a fuss out of a molehill. There is no way, although Senju Hashirama and Uchiha Madara are both legends in the ninja world. But there is only one god of ninja. In terms of influence on the ninja world, the one with the greatest influence is still Senju Hashirama. After all, the ninja world now has a system of 1 village and 1 country. And subsequent developments are actually the source of Senju Hashirama. And now Kagami actually wanted to resurrect Senju Hashirama with impure world reincarnation, which made him a little shocked, but he soon recovered. Just to learn senjutsu? Mirror. You are not that kind of person. I think you must have other purposes for resurrecting Senju Hashirama. Orochimaru said hoarsely. Of course, but it will be kept secret for now, Jing said. Then can I witness it with my own eyes? Although I am not a fan of Senju Hashirama, I am still the god of ninja. I still want to see it. Orochimaru licked the corner of his mouth. Okay, no problem. You're not the only one. I plan to ask Minato to come too. After all, it's such a big thing. The 4th Hokage needs to be informed as well. Uchiha Kagami thought for a while and said, but this guy has just taken office. He may not have time to come. I'll go and ask him first. Chapter 119 Hashirama. Uchiha is born evil, I will. Advertisement, also. The two quickly made up their minds. In the blink of an eye, we arrived at the office in the Hokage building. Minato was busy writing and busy processing countless documents, but when he saw the mirror coming, he still stood up respectfully. Teacher. Are you here? It's okay, there's no need to get up. You go about your business first and we'll sit down for a while. Okay, teacher. Mirror and Orochimaru were sitting on the chairs. Minato got busy again. After an hour or two, he took a break and stretched, feeling a soreness in his waist. Ouch, it hurts so much, it's so hard to be a Hokage. I have hair loss and back pain. Luckily I was smart enough to retire after a few years. Sure enough, this Hokage is not a job for humans, Orochimaru chuckled. Uchiha Kagami coughed a few times. Minato, you have to balance work and rest. Sitting all the time will cause lumbar disc bulging. During the break, you can go out for a walk. It's not okay for you to have a broken waist at such a young age. Kushina can't explain it, you know. I understand, thank you teacher for your concern. Minato felt embarrassed. What did you two say? It's nothing, it's just that Kushina and Minato are planning to have a baby these days, but Minato is too busy and is exhausted when he goes home at night. I guess he is too exhausted to do so. Teacher, stop talking, please stop talking, Minato blushed. Good guy, can you talk about this kind of thing? QG? Plus, %? The key here is that there is an outsider like Orochimaru. If the master and apprentice are normal, forget it, he is also a Hokage after all. Teacher, give me some face. Uchiha Kagami also finished the order, walked over and whispered. Okay, I won't say it anymore, but the reason why I told you this is mainly because Kushina often complains that your time in bed is too short. What? Kushina told you this? Namikaze Minato was dumbfounded. Of course it's not what Kushina said to me, but what Kushina said to my family, Susu, Shisui's mother. They're best friends now. Uchiha Kagami whispered. Susu told Zifeng again, and Zifeng mentioned it to me again, but don't worry. Only my family knows about this kind of thing, and it will not be spread outside. I believe that I am a teacher. That's good, Minato felt relieved. Uchiha Kagami patted him on the shoulder. But you're not good at it. You can't satisfy your wife by paying the public salary at night, and there will be big problems in the family in the future. Let's wait until you finish get off work today. Come to my house and get some supplements. They are all sent by the wealthy people in Hyuga. They are very effective in replenishing the kidneys. I have already tried them. This? Teacher, isn't it good? Okay, I'm sorry. Remember to take it away tonight. Thank you teacher. You're welcome, I'm one of my own family. Uchiha Kagami smiled gently. He showed a satisfied look. Minato, this kid just doesn't have any good intentions. What he said just now was actually false. How could he know about such a private matter? The reason why he asked, it's because this year it seems that the protagonist Naruto will be born. But several days had passed since the beginning of the year, and there was still no movement from the two couples. He was worried that Minato was not doing well. Sure enough, Minato was tricked out with just a few words. This young man. It's still too simple. After chatting about household matters, we started talking about serious matters. After listening to this, Namikaze Minato pondered for a moment and said, Resurrection of Lord First Hokage? I also want to witness it. But teacher, I haven't finished my work here yet, I'm afraid it will be late at night. Advertisement, no problem, I'll wait for you, it's just tonight, I just happen to have big brother. Come to my house and have a bowl with hot pot together, Jing said with a smile. Ahem, it's not impossible, Minato blushed. That's it for the three of us, as for the others, they had no intention of inviting them. After all, the resurrection of Senju Hashirama needs to be concealed for the time being, and Kagami also needs Senju Hashirama to hide in the dark. To prevent sudden changes. After all, the plot has changed, and an unknown masked man has appeared. Although Uchiha Madara is dead, who knows when he will be resurrected, and Senju Hashirama is a trump card. Therefore, the fewer people who know, the better. At night, in the basement of the Uchiha clan leader, a white Zetsu was tied up by Orochimaru, and this was the sacrifice. Namikaze Minato has no sympathy for this kind of creature. If it were a human being, maybe it would be different. Teacher, is there any difference between white Zetsu and dirt? Minato asked curiously. The strength of the ninjas produced by different sacrifices is different, and white Zetsu will make Senju Hashirama stronger, plus Orochimaru has improved Impure World reincarnation. Uchiha Kagami said with a sharp look in his eyes, then this Impure World reincarnation will bring Senju Hashirama's strength infinitely closer to its heyday. It seems that you are going to filth yourself, Orochimaru said hoarsely. Yes, there will definitely be misunderstandings when Senju Hashirama has just been resurrected. We need someone to forcibly control him. I can only do it. Are you ready? Alright, Minato and Orochimaru stood ready. Uchiha Kagami had already prepared Hashirama's flesh and blood, and raised his hand to press it to the ground. Impure World reincarnation. Ah, white Zetsu screamed in pain. The whole person was wrapped in countless confetti, looking extremely terrifying. The next second, the face of the ninja god was revealed. There were a few cracks on his face, and his dark eyes were filled with aura. He looked at himself up and down, his eyes full of vigilance. Where is this? Who are you? You stole Tobirama's reanimation jutsu. This is Konoha. Let me introduce myself first. My name is Uchiha Kagami. I used to be a guard of the second Hokage. Oh, what about the Tobirama people? My second brother has been dead for several years. Dead? Well, it's normal. After all, it may have been many years. Wait, what did you call just now? Second brother? Senju Hashirama scratched his head. Yes, Senju Tobirama is my second brother, and you are my eldest brother. It was during the previous battle with Cloud Shinobi village. I was lucky enough to awaken Mangekyō and save me. He recognized me as a brother. Kagami said straightforwardly. No, absolutely impossible. Although Senju Hashirama is naive, he is not stupid and his eyes are sharp. Tobirama is very repulsive to the Uchiha clan, and it can even be said to be disgusting. How can he recognize you as a brother? The second Hokage guard is nonsense. What is your purpose? Could it be that you plan to resurrect me to harm Konoha? Sure enough, Tobirama was right to guard against you, but I was too naive. Uchiha, who is born evil, I will end you now. P.S. Hashirama doesn't know Orochimaru. Hashirama died early, but the time of death is uncertain. When Orochimaru was planning to destroy Konoha, Tobirama was supposed to know Orochimaru, but the original novel didn't know him at the beginning, and then he was resurrected and knew him. This was Ab's fault. Chapter 120. There's no evidence to prove it, so you are going to blame it like crazy, right? Advertisement. You think I'm lying to you? Jing frowned. Otherwise, Tobirama will never recognize Uchiha as his brother. Senju Hashirama looked at the other two people with sharp eyes. There are two of you, a yellow-haired boy, and the other looks like a villain with snake eyes. You don't look like a good person at first glance, the young man of Uchiha. My strength is beyond your control, and Impure World reincarnation is also risky. I will punish you and make you understand that Konoha is inviolable. Drink. Senju Hashirama gave a low drink. A blue light glowed on his body, activating his chakra. Click. Click. Amazing chakra waves spread out. The entire basement trembled, and the floor suddenly cracked. FK. FK. What an amazing chakra, is this the god of ninja? Orochimaru and Namikaze Minato's pupils tightened. The two people immediately shrank behind the mirror, squinting their eyes and hiding. It seems some measures need to be taken. Uchiha Kagami smiled lightly. But not to be outdone, all the chakra in the body was mobilized. Boom. The chakra waves of the two collided. The basement was shaking continuously, the floor was almost completely broken, and it was about to collapse completely. At this time, suddenly, Anbu's anxious voice came from outside. Someone is attacking. Quick, protect Lord Hokage. Master Jing, are you okay? Do you need our support? No need, it's not an attack. Sensei and Orochimaru are just having a quarrel, please get out. Didn't wait for Jing to say anything. Minato immediately made a solemn voice. The Anbu around him breathed a sigh of relief and then left quietly. If it were before, they may also doubt whether it is true or false. But these Anbu are all veterans. They have experienced quarrels between Mirror and Second Hokage, and the Hokage building has been collapsed several times. This was all a small scene, so Anbu left. Senju Hashirama noticed a word and stopped the chakra fluctuation. He looked at the yellow-haired boy in front of him and looked him up and down with strange eyes. Are you a Hokage? What generation of Hokage are you from? Fourth Hokage. My name is Namikaze Minato and this is my sensei. Namikaze Minato explained. He did not lie. Second-generation master does regard my teacher as his biological brother, and he is also the only Uchiha trusted by Master Tobirama. Konoha is very different now from the past. Oh, that's how it is. Senju Hashirama scratched his head. Advertisement. He looked at Orochimaru again and asked uncertainly, so who are you? Orochimaru said hoarsely. I am the former Third Hokage, the chief scientist of Konoha, and the #1 scientist in the ninja world. Orochimaru, a disciple of Sarutobi Hiruzen. I'm Monkey's student. It seems there was a misunderstanding. Ha ha ha, I'm sorry. Senju Hashirama looked at the mirror again, and said a little embarrassedly, and you, Uchiha Kagami. Actually, I have no prejudice against the Uchiha family. It's all because of Tobirama who keeps telling me that Uchiha is evil. Ahem, this kid influenced me. I actually didn't think you were a bad person. Ha ha ha, sorry, you look like a good person at first glance. I just didn't realize it. It doesn't matter. Uchiha Kagami doesn't care. Although Senju Hashirama is powerful, he lacks brains. In other words, he doesn't have as sharp a mind as Senju Tobirama, and he doesn't have much direct thoughts. But it is precisely because of this. He is the god of ninjas. If he has scheming intentions, he is still the god of ninjas. That's a dog thief, Danzo. Senju Hashirama saw the armor on Jing's body again, touched his chin and said, this armor of yours seems to be mine, right? Where did it come from? My second brother gave it to me on my birthday. He said he hoped I could surpass you, Jing replied. Oh, it seems that Tobirama values you very much. He even gave this to you, but this guy just gave me my armor without my consent. He really doesn't take his elder brother seriously. Humph. Hashirama pouted. Brother, you're already dead. How could he get your consent? Jing said angrily. Haha, yes. Senju Hashirama took a deep breath and said, but the chakra you made just now is also amazing. It is on par with mine. No, maybe even more than mine. It seems that you have fulfilled Tobirama's expectations of you. No, I'm still a little short of it. I'm still short of infinite immortal technique. Infinite immortal technique. Have you been to Shigu Forest? Hashirama raised his eyebrows slightly. Yes, Katsuyu Sage told me that you combined the 3 major senjutsu to create almost the most perfect senjutsu, but I am too slow to study it alone. Uchiha Kagami explained. So one of the reasons why I resurrected you, brother, is actually to hope that you will teach me. I have a good talent. I should learn it quickly. Just for infinite immortal technique. Senju Hashirama was a little angry. You just blasphemed my soul and resurrected me. This Tobirama technique is not for you to use like this. This is too immoral. Fortunately, only me was resurrected. If there were more resurrected. Actually, the village is already using it extensively, Jing said awkwardly. I also formed an impure world reincarnation unit, estimated to number several hundred people. Huh? What? Senju Hashirama was about to get angry. Uchiha Kagami coughed a few times and said, this was all the second brother's idea after your death. He thought that this could effectively lose young ninjas and contribute to the future prosperity of Konoha, and he didn't care about blaspheming the soul. I also tried to stop my second brother at the time, but my second brother was arbitrary and didn't listen to me. I didn't have any position at the time. So I had no choice but to do this. Well, it's all the second brother's fault. It has nothing to do with me. I knew it. B*********** Tobirama. Senju Hashirama was furious, clenching his fists and saying, this kid has no moral bottom line. After I die, how dare he blaspheme my soul like this? Okay, you really don't take what I said at first to heart. When I have the opportunity in the future, I will definitely beat him up. Yes, beat him hard. Jing suppressed a smile. Minato. Orochimaru. Good guy, didn't you mention this at the time? Now that the second generation is dead, it has no evidence to prove it, and it is crazy to blame it, right? Tisk tisk. 6 is still your number 6. Chapter 121 Senju Hashirama. Boy, have you never been beaten? Advertisement. Senju Hashirama was still unhappy and said, but, you resurrected me just to learn celestial arts. This is still not good. Desecrating the souls of the dead is not a good thing. We should respect every soul of the dead. We understand, brother. Uchiha Kagami said seriously. Actually, we don't want to disturb you, but the current situation of the ninja world is completely different from what you imagine. Uchiha Madara was still alive some time ago, and even fought with me. What? Madara is still alive? Senju Hashirama was immediately happy, but when he heard the follow-up words, his expression suddenly changed. You still fought with Uchiha Madara? What is going on? When I fought with him in the Valley of the End, I obviously killed him. He was indeed killed by you. Uchiha Kagami explained, but he had already planned it and placed Izanagi in his right eye in advance. At the cost of losing light, he modified reality and successfully resurrected. After resurrection, he also transplanted a piece of your flesh into on the body. The Uchiha and the Senju clan merged. When they were about to die, they opened the Rinnegan, regained the light, and continued their lives as the Gedo statue, and planned the entire ninja world. I see, Senju Hashirama suddenly realized. I asked him why he bit me before he died. I thought he was simply venting his anger. It seems that I was overthinking. Brother, why did you die so early? Was Madara's mouth poisonous? Jing Li doubted. Otherwise your vitality is so tenacious, you shouldn't have died so early. Senju Hashirama rolled his eyes at him. What kind of mouth is poisonous? Don't talk nonsense. Although I won the battle with Madara, I also suffered serious trauma. It didn't heal for a long time, so it was early died. Oh, that's right. Jing nodded. So is Madara still alive now? Why did he do this? Hashirama said he didn't understand. Because you died, Madara wanted to create a world with only you, Mirror said. Ah, Hashirama blushed. What are you talking about? Uchiha Kagami said seriously. Haha, I'm just kidding. In fact, Madara is trying to create a peaceful world and uses Rinnegan's ultimate illusion, Infinite Tsukuyomi, to control the entire world. But he was already very old at the time, and he had more ambition than strength, so he transplanted the Rinnegan into Nagato, a descendant of the Uzumaki clan, and tried to use Rinne Tensei to resurrect himself in the future to complete his goal. A world of illusions? It's so ridiculous. Senju Hashirama sighed leisurely. This idea. Only Madara can come up with it, but Madara's strategy is indeed amazing. If you hadn't resurrected me, I wouldn't have known that he had started planning the battle with me. But Madara is dead now, but it is difficult to guarantee that he will not be resurrected in the form of impure world reincarnation. After all, I alone have more than I can do. So I resurrected my brother, hoping to help me resist Uchiha Madara, Mirror said. I understand. Does that mean I have to stay in the village and take charge? Hashirama responded. That's true, but brother, you'd better not show up with your true colors. On the one hand, it's also to prevent the public from being too surprised, and on the other hand, it's to hide the news so that Madara can be caught off guard if she is resurrected. I understand, then you have to give me an identity, right? Hokage consultant? Jing thought for a moment and asked. Namikaze Minato on the side said cautiously, isn't it not good? There are no consultants in the village. If a consultant suddenly appears, there is no guarantee that those old people will have opinions. It would be better to change their identities. Secretary to the leader of the Root Organization. Uchiha Kagami rolled his eyes and said, anyway, the Root Organization hides its identity. Big Brother doesn't even need the transformation technique. Just wear a mask to disguise it. When I'm not around, I'll leave it to Big Brother to manage the Root. Root? What new organization is this? Hashirama asked curiously. Shodai, this is an organization established by Mr. Second Generation himself. Its main role is to handle some secret matters, such as hunting down traitor ninjas, obtaining intelligence, and infiltrating enemy countries. These are all possible, Minato explained. Then isn't this a repeat of Anbu? Hashirama scratched his head. Advertisement Orochimaru said straightforwardly, without repetition, Gen also has the right to supervise the current Hokage. As long as the Hokage has any behavior that harms the village, the leader of the general organization can kill him first and then punish him. Currently, only Mirror can do this. Ah, this? Hashirama was confused. Is the leader of this organization more powerful than the Hokage? Several guys, Hokage disobeys, just kill Hokage. But I have to say, it is difficult to evaluate whether this policy is good or bad. But at least the Mirror seems to be someone who loves Konoha, so this right is beneficial. After all, no one can guarantee that Hokage will not betray the village. Senju Hashirama looked at the Mirror and couldn't help but sigh. Tobirama has given you a lot of power. To be honest, after so many years, I miss him a little. How about resurrecting him too? Let's say goodbye, right? My second brother said before he died that he wanted to rest for a while. He just passed away less than 5 years ago. Isn't it not good? Jing whispered. Okay, it's up to you. Hashirama patted him and looked serious. But the most urgent thing now is to teach you the infinite senjutsu. The difficulty of this senjutsu is how to integrate the 3 major senjutsu and achieve a delicate balance. Since the characteristics of the 3 major celestial arts are different, there is a strong conflict, so a little balance is needed. A calm state of mind when entering the water is particularly critical. A little anxiety will make the balance unbalanced and lead to failure. In other words, just the state of mind and balance are enough. Then I should learn it soon, Jing said confidently. Haha, although your boy is extremely talented, you already have the potential to surpass me. Senju Hashirama smiled, but there is still a long way to go to truly learn my infinite senjutsu. After all, it took me almost 3 months to complete it. Senju Hashirama. Operator, before he could finish speaking. Senju Hashirama's mouth twitched. Shut up, you kid, have you never been beaten before? Young man, it's better not to talk nonsense, it's not good. I saw that the lines on his face were constantly merging and intertwining, and a fairy face appeared exactly like Hashirama. The top of his head was a point in the middle of the ring, like the lines of the sun. It's a pity that I haven't created my own infinite immortal technique, but it's barely enough for now. Professor Ninja. The aura characteristic is activated, and he is learning. The theory of ninjutsu explained by Senju Hashirama is logical, infinite senjutsu. Learning successfully, close black lens bracket. Uchiha Kagami closed her eyes and entered a meditative state. In an instant, Uchiha Kagami opened his eyes, chuckled and said, Brother, I'm not bragging, I've learned it. However, Uchiha Kagami shook his head and sighed, but compared with my elder brother, it is still far behind. It took my elder brother 3 months to create it, but it took me less than a day to learn it. It is covered around both eyes, and there are 2 bifurcations under the eyelids. The domineering immortal art of ZZGE, which is also the immeasurable immortal art, has been understood. His natural energy gathered in an instant. Open black lens bracket ding, system hint, close black lens bracket. Chapter 122 Mirror vs Hashirama. Infinite immortal technique, open. Advertisement. Uchiha Kagami smiled, her eyes full of anticipation. To be honest, since I became famous, I have never been beaten. Brother, would you like to help me? Huh? Good boy. Are you so confident that you can defeat me? Hashirama smiled. I'm not very confident, but I'm a bit sure. Why don't we make a bet? If I win, you will promise me something that doesn't violate your morals, but we won't talk about it until after the battle, Jing said. Okay, I bet, if I win. Senju Hashirama said with serious eyes. Then I need you to stick to yourself. After all, Tobirama trusts you very much and allows you to have the power of life and death over the Hokage. But you must also distinguish right from wrong, and never take the wrong path. Understood, let's go to the sea. Good, the two looked at each other. He immediately went directly to the sea. After all, the two of them were so strong that they really wanted to fight in the village. Not to mention Konoha village, the Fire Nation has to be affected, so there are not so many concerns at sea. And this time, of course, Orochimaru and Minato were also brought along. Minato is now the perfect nine-tails Jinchuriki, and Orochimaru has been scientifically transformed. Although his strength is not as strong as the mirror and Hashirama, it is also unfathomable. There is no problem in self-protection, and it is also to witness the victory or defeat of this battle. This is the confrontation between the legends of the new ninja world and the legends of the old ninja world. You must see such a magnificent battle with your own eyes. Then, Minato and Mirror Master and Disciple jointly performed Flying Thunder God. Taking Hashirama and Orochimaru to the sea, the two stood on the sea, looking at each other quietly despite the rough waves. Call, Uchiha Kagami looks calm, but in fact, I also have indescribable expectations and excitement in my heart. After all, Hashirama's significance and influence on the ninja world is well known, and he is a relatively close person in reality. As for Sage of Six Paths, they are all legendary figures. Therefore, for Jing, this battle is of great significance. If he can win, it means that he has entered a new stage. The two of them were confronting each other in the air. In order to end the battle as quickly as possible, they did not use any unnecessary tests. Susanoo! Uchiha Kagami shouted lowly. Chakra surged, and the bones behind him gathered quickly. Including the lower body and both feet, everything was condensed. As soon as he made a move, he used the third level of Susanoo, leaving no defense holes in his body. But, Senju Hashirama puts his hands together. At the same time as he shouted, a large number of vines came out. Wood-style the tree world is born. Click, click. Boundless vines came out. Each one is huge, like Optimus Prime. In the blink of an eye, Susanoo was knocked to the ground. Uchiha Kagami's eyes narrowed slightly. As expected of you, big brother. The tree world birth that was released casually defeated my Susanoo, so I will use my full strength. Whoop. The amazing chakra rises into the sky. The aura on his body suddenly surged, and he was covered with layers of armor. It continued to rise and transformed into a complete body of Susanoo, which was 200 meters in size. It carried wings on its back and had two chakra samurai swords on its waist. Complete Susanoo. This boy's strength should not be underestimated. He is already as good as Uchiha Madara back then. I just don't know. How many trump cards does he have? I haven't fought Madara for so many years. Now that I can meet an outstanding young man like you, I should take it a little seriously. Wood-style wooden golem jutsu. Advertisement. Senju Hashirama looked solemn. With a clap of his hands, vines on the ground instantly appeared. A large number of vines continuously intertwined and condensed to lift him up and turned into an extremely huge giant. Judging from the size alone, it was half a head short of the full-body Susanoo. But, the wooden golem has an extra part wrapped around a wooden dragon. Therefore, it was almost the same size as the full-body Susanoo, so the two fought fiercely, and the sea of fists and flesh continued to set off huge waves. The aftermath of the battle caused many small islands to be completely destroyed. And that's just the sea. Therefore, the scope of the impact is smaller. If it is on land, it will be on a different scale. Susanoo and wooden golem clasped their hands and seemed to be in a stalemate. But, Senju Hashirama one-handed seal, click. Another two wooden dragons gathered together, combined with the one on the wooden golem, three wooden dragons attacked. But, the wings behind Uchiha Kagami. It was also a pair of arms that raised its hands to hold the three wooden dragons tightly, and used brute force to slam the entire wooden golem to the other side. Boom. A large number of small islands collapsed. The wind and waves continued, causing their hair to dance wildly. Senju Hashirama was slightly surprised and said, your brute force is actually better than Madara? Even Susanoo's chakra is stronger. You, a junior, seem to have surpassed Eternal Mangekyō's Madara. Brother, aren't you going to recognize me? Is this strength not enough to be your third brother? Uchiha Kagami asked with a half-smile. Ha ha ha. Ha ha. Senju Hashirama said proudly. It's not easy to be my third brother. Although Tobirama recognizes your character, you have to convince me in terms of strength. After all, you're the god of ninja. Okay, come on then, Hashirama. Come on, Uchiha Kagami. The two charged again. Uchiha Kagami raised his hand and slashed down the chakra katana with all his strength. Not to be outdone, Senju Hashirama slammed his fists against the opponent's blade. The wooden golem was cracked and a large amount of sawdust flew out. Click. All I saw was the surface of the sea. Infinite immortal technique, open. The mutilated Susan immediately shattered into pieces. A low shout came out, and Senju Hashirama clapped his hands. If it were me before, is this the Mingchen Gate? Immortal facial makeup suddenly appeared in his eyes, the astonishing chakra boiled again, and a huge portal fell from the sky. Sage Art Myojin Gate. Click. Boom. Infinite immortal technique, open. The sea is churning and the waves are turbulent. Uchiha Kagami's pupils tightened, and she was surprised in her heart. This move is not a simple suppressive force, but a powerful sage art that can control the actions of both Ten Tails and Madara. My chakra is almost impossible to mobilize. This amazing pressure not only sealed chakra, but also almost completely froze his movements. Boom. And Uchiha Kagami's entire body was crushed under the sea. I may be defeated after this move, but now I am completely fearless. Since you have activated Sage Mode, I will come too. The wooden golem was cut into pieces, and most of Uchiha Kagami's Susanoo was destroyed. The outcome seemed to be in sight, but it was far from over. Chapter 123 Senju Hashirama joins, Root, reprimand from Shisui. Advertisement. Uchiha Kagami closed her eyes. A large amount of natural energy has already filled the whole body. With the blessing of the pseudo-sage body, he forcibly broke away from the shackles of the Myojin Gate, and his eyes were covered with the same sage face as Hashirama. Immediately afterwards, he jumped up from the bottom of the sea. The two looked at each other again, seemingly understanding each other. The last move will determine the outcome, even though we are at sea. Uchiha Kagami said slowly, but Kirigakure is not too far from us. If it is discovered, there will still be some unnecessary trouble. Okay, then one move will determine the outcome. Uchiha Kagami, today let's see if you can surpass your predecessors and become a better ninja legend than me and Uchiha Madara, haha. Senju Hashirama's eyes narrowed slightly and he clapped his hands together. The astonishing chakra gathered again, and even the bottom of the sea trembled, and the two of them shouted loudly. Sage Art Wood Style True Several Thousand Hands. Hooray! Hurrah! I saw countless trees rising from the bottom of the sea. Continuously intertwining and converging, a stunning wood-style Senju Buddha statue stands tall. The scale of the true several thousand hands of both people is extremely huge, which is completely different from the previous wooden golem. It's nearly 1,000 meters. Even when Nine Tails came, they were only about the size of a palm. But, in comparison, the mirror Senju Buddha statue is larger. Mirror! Hasala Mama! The two shouted angrily at the same time. The Buddha statues of true several thousand hands kept clashing with each other. Explosions and roars resounded continuously, nearly tens of kilometers of seawater around was evaporated, and more than a dozen islands were wiped out. The stalemate lasted for several minutes. Senju Hashirama's Buddha statue is completely mutilated, including the man himself. But because of impure world reincarnation, there is no need to worry about injuries. Although most of the arm behind true several thousand hands on the other side was destroyed. But the entire Buddha statue is still there. Uchiha Kagami stood on top of the wooden Buddha, with complicated emotions flashing through his heart. I won. I have really surpassed Senju Hashirama, and now it can be confirmed, except for the 6 paths level. No one can be my opponent. Senju Hashirama's body recovered and he sincerely praised. You win, Uchiha Kagami. Oh no, third brother. You are stronger than I thought, and I feel relieved to leave the village to you. Brother. Actually, don't be sad. Uchiha Kagami comforted. Because of impure world reincarnation, although I asked Orochimaru to improve impure world reincarnation. It can bring you infinitely close to the peak strength of your youth, but your senjutsu chakra is not perfect enough. If you are truly resurrected, your true several thousand hands may not lose to mine. Don't be humble. I noticed it when I was in sage mode. Your chakra is more than mine. Even Nine Tails is not enough to compare with you, and your own foundation is very strong. Senju Hashirama smiled freely and said, I am afraid that the ninjutsu that I know is not limited to the Uchiha clan and my wood style. Even if I are resurrected, I will not be able to defeat you. At most, I will lose more decently. There is no difference. Don't worry about my emotions. I never care about strength. As long as I can make Konoha good and bring peace to the ninja world. I don't care who becomes the number 1 in the ninja world. Third brother. I will rely on you in the future. I will try my best, brother. This moment. The two of them truly recognized each other, but after watching the whole battle between Minato and Orochimaru, my heart was filled with ups and downs. The mirror won. Advertisement win the ninja god. Even though I knew the mirror was powerful before. It is hailed as the new legend of the ninja world, but after all, there is no intuitive idea, and the last time the mirror violently beat the 5 shadows, they did not watch the battle. See it with your own eyes now. It was a complete shock to the soul and spirit. Teacher wins. Ha. Minato said happily. As expected of a teacher, in this case, it won't take long for the ninja world to be balanced, as long as Uchiha Madara is solved. Well, there will be some follow-up troubles. As expected of a mirror, I have to work hard. Orochimaru thought to himself, since my talent is not enough, let's use technology to make it up. Maybe I can also get a pseudo-sage body, for me. But, the research on that potion went so smoothly, and with the Hashirama perfect potion from last time, with the main mirror present, my experiment went smoothly. Could it be? Is he really my mascot? No, I don't believe in luck. There are so many secrets on the mirror, but it has nothing to do with me. I just need to do scientific research. The battle is over. 4 people went back. Senju Hashirama puts on a root mask. With the position of secretary to the leader of the root organization, he joined the new organization as a newcomer. As the leader, Jing Huan Xuancheng, if he is away, all matters of the root organization will be handled by a secretary. This left the uninformed members of the root organization a bit puzzled. Where did this little brat come from? He actually parachuted into the root organization and gained the favor of Master Jing. After some introductions, Jing dealt with other matters. After all, Uchiha's service industry had just opened, and some things needed to be watched in person. The eldest brother Hashirama naturally stayed in the root organization. Not right either. Root tissue has no base, because all members are from the Uchiha clan. Every time they report intelligence, they only need to come to the patriarch's courtyard. Someone knocked on the door and entered. When Hashirama saw the boy's appearance, he showed a kind smile and said, "Young man, what's your name? You and Kagami look quite similar. Are you Kagami's son?" As the secretary to the leader of the root organization, Hashirama, of course, has to stay at the clan leader's home and help process the information reported by root. Why are you so embarrassed to lie down when you just joined the job? You just lie down and handle official business? Is this the kind of work attitude a newcomer has? Are you worthy of my grandfather's trust in you? No, Kagami is my grandfather. My name is Shisui. Senju Hashirama was sitting on a lounge chair wearing a mask, and looked at it leisurely. Such a large courtyard must be several hundred square meters, right? There are also 5 floors in this attic. This kid really knows how to enjoy it. Suddenly, at least you were just a newcomer who has just been promoted. At least you have to stand up and handle official duties in the early stage to prove that you live up to your grandfather's favor, right? How luxurious. Shisui became more and more unhappy and scolded him slightly. Also, although you were given a heavy responsibility by your grandfather, you have just joined the job. Can you behave like a serious person? A secretary can lie down so casually, but he still doesn't think. Shisui, who was wearing a forehead protector, walked in and planned to say something. But it doesn't matter. Fortunately, I have gathered some information in the past few days. The third brother is quite loved in the village. He is not treated like an Uchiha at all. It's no big deal to enjoy him. When he saw the man on the recliner, he immediately frowned, even though his grandfather had mentioned the existence of this secretary. Just as he was sizing it up. Chapter 124. Dare Hashirama call you grandpa? You are such a tiger. Advertisement? Huh? Am I not serious? Senju Hashirama was stunned. Over the years, it seems, except for Tobirama, there are really not many people who dare to say that he is not serious in front of him, but this kid can. Otherwise, I'm talking about you, and... Shisui reprimanded with dissatisfaction. This reclining chair is an antique that my grandfather bought at a high price, almost tens of thousands of taels. When I was a child, I accidentally broke the armrest and was severely beaten by my grandfather. If you break the chair, be careful of my grandfather beating you. I don't mean to blame you, I just remind you in a friendly way. Senju Hashirama was confused. He looked at the young man in front of him, but soon laughed out loud. After all these years, not many people dared to talk to him like this. But he was not angry. Instead, he found it interesting because he was an elder. Hiding his identity, he could ask more about the changes in the village and the mirror's intelligence. Although he has learned some reputations about mirrors from villagers. But those are just ordinary villagers after all. Only Jing's relatives and friends really understand Jing, and Sun Tzu is the best channel for obtaining information. He did recognize Jing. Tobirama recognized his character, but Tobirama has no morals. I still have to observe with my own eyes for a few days to make sure that this kid is not a bad person before I can safely hand over the village to him. Thank you for the reminder. I don't understand much when I first entered the workplace. Senju Hashirama immediately stood up, looked at his Jonin vest, and said with interest, "Is that Shisui? You have become a Jonin at such a young age? It seems that your talent is very good. Can you tell me more about mirrors?" "I'm actually from Shao Ninja Village, and I'm not familiar with mirrors at all. I'm very curious about him." "No wonder you didn't even call me an honorific. You called my grandfather by his first name. Now I understand." Shisui raised his chest. "My grandfather did a lot of things for Konoha and peace in the ninja world. For example, he once had a quarrel with second-generation master. I hope to break the rules and go to the battlefield to save more young ninjas. My grandfather did accomplish this feat later, defeating the strongest Kazekage, forcing Tsunade to surrender within a month, and later defeating the third Tsuchikage and the third Raikage, bringing peace to the shinobi world once again. Then the third ninja world war broke out, and my grandfather simply beat the 5 Kages so hard that they had no choice but to surrender. However, under the influence of my grandfather, Konoha's middle and upper level combat power suffered almost no losses. And there are a lot of people born this year, even more than in previous years. Konoha has become more prosperous and powerful than before, of course. In addition to my grandfather, other people have also made a lot of contributions, such as Lord Fourth Hokage. Lord Orochimaru, Konoha Sanin's Tsunade medical ninjutsu is also great and has saved many lives." "Wait, you mean little Tsunade?" Hashirama asked. "Little Tsunade? Are you too rude? Even though you are older, Master Tsunade is the Sanin of Konoha. Can you be more respectful?" Shisui frowned. Okay, I want to ask how Tsunade is doing." "How about what? Oh, I understand. What you want to ask about is about feelings. That's all you can talk about." Shisui whispered. "Tsunade and my grandfather have been together for almost a month. My grandfather has been single for so many years. He has finally found a home. But don't say it was me who said it. This news has only spread among the upper circles of Konoha and has not been announced to the outside world." "What? They're together? Hashirama suddenly turned pale. When I thought about Jing making a bet with myself before, I would make a request that was not too excessive. Could it be that he wanted him to marry Tsunade to him? Etc. Isn't this his fault? I treat you as my third brother, but you date my granddaughter? Advertisement. If this happened, wouldn't the seniority be in chaos? From now on, he will call me eldest brother and I will call him son-in-law. What kind of nonsense is this? Besides, it has been so many years, and Hashirama still doesn't understand Uchiha Kagami's personality. How could he just entrust his granddaughter to others? Shisui looked strange and asked, "Why are you angry? You are such a strange person. Do you think my grandfather and Tsunade-sama are not worthy of each other? My grandfather is so strong." "There's no point in being strong," Senju Hashirama said unhappily. "You have to be able to take care of your family." "My family? Well, anyway, you can't let a pig hump a cabbage. At least you have to confirm whether it is a pig." "Hey, you're going too far. Are you calling my grandfather a pig?" Shisui suddenly became angry. "My grandfather asked you to be his secretary. Do you know that the Uchiha clan is very xenophobic? Many senior root members in the clan are very unhappy with you. No matter how powerful you are. You are not afraid of being beaten by a group of people. Group fight. Let them do it. If they lose, they call me grandpa," Hashirama snorted coldly. "Awesome." Shisui looked at him, but I didn't dare to ask any more questions. He always felt that this person was very strange, giving people a feeling that he was not superior. It's the feeling of treating others as juniors, even treating my grandfather like this. Who is this person? An old man from the Uchiha clan. Right? The old patriarchs of the clan have been dead for many years. And those elders are in jail. Where are they from? As for his grandfather, he was a close brother to Master Tobirama. It seems that only the dead Hashirama is his elder, and no one else has that qualification. When I think of this, Shisui's heart skipped a beat, and she looked at his mask with a confused look. He was originally here to report intelligence, but when he heard this man being so arrogant, he couldn't help but lose his temper. He has a sharp mind. Shisui suppressed a smile in his heart. 6 is still your 6th. You dare to let the god of ninja call you grandpa. You are such a tiger. But he didn't dare to say, "Is it really Senju Hashirama?" Suddenly, Anbu appeared. "Oh, if you lose, you call me grandpa." However, okay, it's really arrogant enough. At this time, Uchiha Yashira said angrily, "Dare you, if I win, you call me grandpa." More detailed than normal Uchiha observations. It is Uchiha Yashira, the veteran Jonin of the Uchiha clan. Senju Hashirama smiled jokingly. "Oh, by the way, at my age, it seems that there is no problem if you call me grandpa. Do you dare?" "Damn it. I also know that my grandfather and 4th generation went out at night. Thinking about it carefully, in pure world reincarnation is no secret. This is entirely possible. Since my grandfather asked for confidentiality, he certainly couldn't expose it." Uchiha Yashira sneered. "The clan leader trusts you, not to let you be arrogant and domineering here. You are not a good secretary. And you dare to speak rudely to the Uchiha clan. I will teach you a lesson." Chapter 125 Uchiha Fire Formation, Rapper Killer B. Advertisement. No doubt, Uchiha Yashira made a sliding tackle. I knelt down on the spot, and I was so scared that I knelt down. Senju Hashirama just released a chakra wave, and the amazing energy wave shocked Uchiha Yashira and was dumbfounded on the spot. "You? Who are you?" Senju Hashirama smiled and said, "Don't worry about who I am, just call me grandpa. People from the Uchiha clan don't break their promises, right?" "Grandpa, I was rude. Can I lie down now?" "Okay, you can lie down wherever you like." Uchiha Yashira bowed his head and admitted his mistake. For the Uchiha clan, strong people are respected by them. Not to mention that the man in front of him is so powerful and is favored by the patriarch, so he is naturally convinced. And Senju Hashirama continued to lie on the deck chair. Shisui looked at Yashira and asked, "Yashira Jonin, you came here to report some information?" "Yes, Cloud Shinobi village is expected to come to Konoha in 3 days and sign a truce agreement with us. Does our organization need to do anything in advance?" Yashira asked. "Ask this junior. Secretary. Since my grandfather trusts him, his decision also represents my grandfather's decision." Shisui looked at Senju Hashirama. "Please give instructions, Mr. Secretary. Cloud Shinobi village signed a truce agreement 3 days later, but the problem is, Kagami and I said before that the Third Ninja World War has been over for a while. Why did they come now?" Senju Hashirama wondered. "Let me explain," Shisui said slowly, "because my grandfather fought with the 5 shadows and almost killed the Third Raikage. Now, although the Third Raikage is not dead, but he retired because of his old age, and the 4th Raikage is in charge. Compared to the Third Raikage, the 4th Raikage is a complete fool. Even though they lost the war, they are still not convinced. The other shinobi villages have signed a truce agreement, but Cloud Shinobi village has been dragging it out. I understand, it is in line with the characteristics of Cloud Shinobi village. It is about saving face and suffering." Senju Hashirama pondered for a moment and said, "In that case, then we in Konoha need to be prepared to receive guests, and we must be on guard against others. Members of the root organization need to be on guard at all times to prevent these reckless people from doing bad things." "Yes, Secretary." Yashira nodded. Then he formed a seal with one hand and disappeared instantly. The Land of Thunder. Yunlei Canyon. This is where Eight Tails Jinchuriki practices. Of course, because of his strange rap and Eight Tails Jinchuriki status, he had to be isolated from the village. It's worth mentioning that he is different from Naruto. Naruto was isolated by the entire village, and he isolated the entire village because Killer Bee was not alone at all. Even though it looks like imprisonment, but for Killer Bee, he can hang out when he wants. And after so many years of training, he has transformed into a truly perfect Jinchuriki and has become a good friend with the Eight-Tails Gyuki in his body. Just after taking a nap at noon that day, Killer Bee got up, opened the door curtain, and started rapping that he was proud of. Cultivation can't be tolerated on an empty stomach. I'm the Eight-Tails Jinchuriki who likes long raps, Killer Bee. The lunch dish is sukiyaki. Oh yeah, the Eight-Tails Gyuki in his body said disgustedly. Bye, can you change your rap? You get up at noon every day and just say these few words? There is no innovation at all? Oh, I'm sorry. I have little talent and little knowledge, and I haven't understood the true meaning of rap yet. Killer Bee was not embarrassed. He thought for a while and said, but it will be boring to stay here for a long time. I might as well go to my teacher to ask for advice on rap creation. He is a real master in rap. Well, I think so too. Advertisement. Wait, someone is coming. Eight Tails Gyuki's reminder came out. Killer Bee looked in front of him, and the space suddenly became distorted. A man wearing a vortex mask slowly appeared, wearing a black robe and black gloves. He didn't look like a good guy. Time and space ninjutsu. Who are you? Killer Bee frowned. Uchiha Madara. Madara? Killer Bee couldn't help but sneered. If you were Uchiha Madara, I would be Uchiha Madara's second rap boss. B***********, D, idiot. It seems that the information is correct. You're a person who likes to tell cold jokes. The masked man pointed at him, and Haki said completely, but it doesn't matter who you are, Killer Bee. I want the 8 tails in your body. Want Hachi? Dreaming. Oh yeah, this isn't digestion, it's fashionable rhyme. Can't you hear my rhyme? A**hole, stupid A**hole. Didn't hear it, the masked man's mouth twitched. Obviously I was shocked by this guy, but he was too lazy to talk nonsense and started taking action immediately. Phew. Whoosh, he raised his hand and threw out a large shuriken. But they were all blocked by 8 Tails Jinchuriki, Killer Bee holding a blade. Under the chakra infusion, the lightning-style chakra was directly covered on it, and the blade was constantly vibrating and making sounds. Zitsa. Zitsa. You can look down on me, but you can't look down on my rap. I will chop off your head to show you respect for a rap artist. Lightning-style supersonic thunder knife, he held the blade and slashed at the head of the opponent heading straight for him. But, the next second, the space in front of him became distorted. His blade emitting lightning was sucked in inch by inch. The masked man raised his right hand, about to touch Killer Bee's body, but fortunately Killer Bee reacted quickly and avoided it in time. This guy, Killer Bee put away his contempt and couldn't help but become solemn. Using the power of time and space, you directly distorted my blade and lightning style. This guy is not an ordinary thing. Zalba, I'm afraid I have to borrow your power. Aw. It's not your style to be polite, bye, 8 Tails said. Okay, let's go to the second form, half-tailed beast. Oh yeah, Killer Bee raised his finger, the scarlet chakra surges up. He was directly dyed dark red, a spine formed on his back, 8 tails danced wildly, and an extra cow skull appeared on his shoulders. Your space and time ninjutsu is very strong, but the 8 tails transformed me faster. I don't believe you can release it faster than me, Thunderplow Hot Knife. Killer Bee stepped on the ball of his foot. The ground suddenly shattered, and the whole person rushed over. However, watching the half-tailed beast Killer Bee attack, the masked man did not change at all, and sneered at the corner of his mouth. Is it just a half-tailed beast? I am really looked down upon. Do you really think that I, Uchiha Madara, can do nothing except time and space ninjutsu? Uchiha Fire Formation, Chapter 126 Illusion Sharingan, 8 Tails Jinchuriki defeated. Advertisement. The masked man raised his hand and pressed it to the ground. Black robes surged and red flames erected on the ground. The flames quickly condensed and turned into a barrier. Killer Bee rushed over and hit the barrier hard, letting out a miserable scream. It hurts so much, it's so hot. Not only that, his whole body was on fire. 8 Tails Gyuki was anxious in his heart. Hurry! Transform into a tailed beast completely. This flame is not an ordinary flame. If you don't act, you will die. Ah! Damn Uchiha! I want you to pay the price, let you experience the horror of 8 Tails Jinchuriki, super transformation, oh yeah. Killer Bee raised his finger. Chakra almost turned into substance and then continued to expand. 8 Tails' true form appears completely, with 8 octopus tails as its tail, and the horns on its head as huge as a mountain. But, the masked man showed no fear. Killer Bee roared angrily and punched him with his fist. However, the barrier did not fluctuate at all. Instead, Killer Bee was so hot that he fell back again and again. Killer Bee was horrified. Hiss, it hurts. What kind of barrier is this? With the power of my complete tailed beast transformation, I can't break it. Open the slightest bit? Haha. This is how powerful Uchiha is. The masked man's eyes were scarlet. Showing a hint of pride, this move is certainly very powerful. This is a powerful secret technique known as Shura's lower level becomes a barrier and turns those who resist into ashes. The principle is actually very simple. It is a technique that uses the chakra contained in the 5 fingers to transform into the nature of fire, creating a fire barrier in a fixed area. But what is different from ordinary barriers is, this is a karmic fire amplified by the earth as a medium. It will continue to expand the burning range with the small amount of chakra released by the caster. Anyone who dares to come close will be burned to death. The high-temperature flames produced by this secret technique cannot even be touched by tailed beasts. In the original work, even the fully tailed beast 8 tails couldn't stop him. If Killer Bee hadn't been slow to react just now, he would have been burned to ashes in the half-tailed beast form. The masked man said very calmly, 8 tails. You are already in my possession. I advise you not to struggle, otherwise the more you struggle, the more painful it will be. Killer Bee's face was ashen. He thought about using the tailed beast bomb to blow up the barrier directly. But the problem is that this barrier surrounds him. If he releases the tailed beast bomb, even he will be affected. Perhaps, the other party took advantage of this and dealt with him in this way. Killer Bee was very anxious. Zauba, it's over now. We can't break this barrier, and the tailed beast bomb can't be used. Can we just sit back and wait for death? Then I can only try the tailed beast bomb. My body can withstand a tailed beast bomb, but I will also suffer some injuries. 8 Tails Gyuki warned, but the masked man in front of you is unfathomable. He may not have other trump cards. Break the barrier later and run away. Don't fight him anymore. But he knows time and space ninjutsu. How can we escape? Killer Bee wondered. Delay. Delay for time. The movement here will definitely alarm the village. As long as your brother comes to help you, then you will be safe. I understand, let's do it. Killer Bee no longer hesitated. Immediately he opened his mouth and the chakra continued to condense. The ink-colored tailed beast bomb quickly condensed and smashed directly towards the barrier of the flame formation. Boom. A deafening roar resounded. The earth was shaking and the flame barrier was broken. Advertisement 8 Tails' injuries were not serious, but in order to go faster, he transformed into a half-tailed beast, blessed with a substantial tailed beast coat. The speed is even more amazing, and the escape speed is also top-notch. But, before he could escape a few hundred meters, the space in front of him suddenly became distorted. The masked man stood in front of him, and the Mangekyō in his eyes suddenly rotated. Genjutsu Sharingan. What? Killer Bee was shocked. The next second, he collapsed on the ground. Just when the masked man was about to recycle it, a sudden change occurred. I saw that Killer Bee's body's chakra surge, and his speed reached ultimate. Ha ha ha. Didn't you expect that? Stupid Uchiha. 8 Tails is my partner. Your Sharingan illusion has no effect on me. Just die. Thunderplow hot knife. Killer Bee laughed. He had to use the Thunderplow hot knife again to completely penetrate his abdomen and neck. But, immediately afterwards, his smile faltered. I saw a white chakra gathering on the masked man in front of me. Unexpectedly, it turned into a rib shape at some point, wrapping his whole body in it, and his Thunderplow hot knife was completely blocked out. What? Susanoo. Killer Bee looked shocked. He originally thought that the person in front of him was just an ordinary Uchiha clan member. What he never expected was that he actually had the same eyes as Uchiha Kagami, and he suddenly felt powerless in his heart. Poof. The masked man raised his hand and penetrated 8 Tails' Jinchuriki. The condensed blade of the huge Susanoo almost cut Killer Bee in half. You think I don't know that tailed beasts can help you dispel illusions? Haha, I just lured you into the trap on purpose. Gyuki felt very sad. Did you leave a tail behind? I saw his left eye focus, and while the space was distorted, he sucked in 8 tails. Note. Imperfect Jinchuriki is not immune to illusions, otherwise 3 Tails Jinchuriki Yagura would have released Obito's control long ago. The tailed beast hates Jinchuriki. Even if it is controlled by illusions, it will not help to release it. As 8 Tails was completely pulled out, the masked man's eyes suddenly turned, and Mangekyō easily controlled 8 Tails. 8 Tails simply cannot avoid Mangekyō Sharingan's manipulation. Almost at the last moment, he cut off his own octopus tail. No. No way. No more Killer Bee, as expected. You Cloud Shinobi village are all reckless people. Although you have some brains. But not much, fighting you is much faster than fighting that kid Nagato. The masked man smiled proudly. The masked man glanced at the unconscious Killer Bee and showed no mercy at all. His tone was extremely cold. It's such a beautiful feeling, but what's the point of doing this? I'm not a good person who lets the enemy go casually. I saw Killer Bee's belly constantly surging, the scarlet chakra constantly being pulled out, and half of 8 Tails had been unsealed. Only a perfect Jinchuriki can dispel the Genjutsu, but it is not immune control. Instead, at the moment of being hit by the Genjutsu, the tailed beast in the body helps Jinchuriki interfere with the chakra to dispel the Genjutsu. He raised his hand and pressed it on Killer Bee's abdomen. If I am pulled away, Bai will die. This is the only way to do this. Bai, you will survive. I will accept the 8 Tails, the Tails release seal. Chapter 127. Physically resisting the tailed beast bomb, Cloud Shinobi village's best real man. Advertisement. As soon as he finished speaking, the mask picked up the kunai and was about to eradicate the root cause. Suddenly, thunder flashed in the air. His kunai was shattered and someone stood in front of Killer Bee. This man has a tall build, bronze skin, long beard and hair, and deep green eyes, giving people a strong sense of oppression. Are you from Konoha? Third Raikage seemed to see the scarlet color in his eyes, and suddenly he said with anger. You actually targeted 8 Tails in our village? Don't you also have 9 tails? That guy Uchiha Kagami. Isn't he really afraid of provoking a war again? The masked man was stunned for a moment. I was going to explain it, but I thought it would be nice to be misunderstood. It seemed that it could bring some trouble to Uchiha Kagami and Konoha, so he twitched the corners of his mouth and revealed an evil smile. Who would object to having too many weapons? The clan leader is now the new legend of the ninja world. Of course, all the tailed beasts in the ninja world must be included in the bag. As for the war you mentioned, the clan leader is not afraid. After all, you 5 Kages are all defeated by you. FK Uchiha. Third Raikage shouted angrily. No matter how powerful he is, Uchiha Kagami is just one person. How dare you, a mere tribesman? Dare to be arrogant to me? I will make you, Uchiha, regret facing Cloud Shinobi village. Just you? The masked man smiled disdainfully. Although you are known as the strongest contradiction in the ninja world, your speed is not fast enough. I can't even use the time and space ninjutsu. Third Raikage, today is the day you die. Lightning style armor. Hell thrust 3 bonus hands. Zetsa. Third Raikage didn't talk nonsense to him. Mobilize chakra on the spot and use all your strength to activate the lightning style armor. Shie. He completely disappeared. The next moment, he appeared in front of the enemy. What? So fast? This old man's speed is actually faster than before. How is this possible? There's something wrong with the intelligence? The masked man was stunned. He was about to use the spacetime ninjutsu and cut off his arm. But what is unexpected is that Third Raikage is too fast. It was so fast that he didn't even have time to use the spacetime ninjutsu, and then 3 fingers pierced his body and he flew backwards. Puff. The masked man vomited blood and felt very ****ed in his heart. What's going on with this old guy? His speed is completely beyond what White Zetsu had expected, and didn't this old guy say he was injured and retired at an old age? How could it be so fast? Could it be that it was the guy in the mirror who ran away with the 5 shadows, causing the old guy to be dissatisfied with his speed, thus making up for this shortcoming? No way? Third Raikage. Have you felt the anger from Cloud Shinobi village? Uchiha Kagami is indeed very strong, but I have already surpassed myself during this period. Now I am number 1 in terms of defense, strength, and speed. The announcement of retirement before was just to confuse you Konoha. Uchiha, hand over 8 tails. Otherwise, I will kill you with my next blow. What the hell? That's true. How come these fools suddenly have brains? Although the masked man was shocked, he did not panic at all. If you want to get back 8 tails, don't even think about it. I have to complete the task assigned to me by the leader of the Mirror Clan no matter what. Besides, you really think you can win me? The secretive Uchiha, if you don't eat the toast, you will be punished with alcohol. Hell thrust 2 Bonshu. Third Raikage was furious. Lightning flashed again and he rushed towards the opponent. The speed was too fast for Sharingan to catch easily, but Mangekyō was barely able to detect the traces, but it was not enough to use spacetime ninjutsu against the enemy. Advertisement then, his left eye suddenly focused. Tisk. Tisk. The space quickly became distorted. I saw a tailed beast bomb, and the time and space ninjutsu released through the eyes actually came out and went straight to the face of Third Raikage. Third Raikage, you must pay for your arrogance. Die to me. The face of this poster is enlarged. The Third Raikage could not avoid it and was directly hit by the tailed beast bomb. Boom. The earth was completely shattered. Sand and gravel were flying around, and smoke and dust filled the entire Yunlei Canyon. After a long time, they dispersed. The masked man used time and space ninjutsu to resist most of tailed beast bomb's attacks, but with his current attainments, he could only block his upper body. Therefore, the lower body was almost completely mutilated. It is still retained because of the use of wood-style protection and white Zetsu cells. Is it time to die now? If you hit a tailed beast bomb in the face, even the guy Uchiha Kagami will die 10 times, right? The masked man scanned the battlefield, but an amazing scene appeared. The bronze-skinned man just stood there. Moreover, there were only slight white marks on his body surrounded by lightning, and there were almost no injuries at all. Bang bang. The Third Raikage patted the dust on his body and said with a stern expression, "Is this just this level, Uchiha? A mere-tailed beast bomb, you want to break for my defense? It's too wishful thinking. When I was young, I was able to fight against the 8 tails for 3 days and 3 nights, suppressing the rampaging 8 tails many times. Now the lightning-style armor is even better. The attack of the tailed beast bomb is just average in my eyes. Like. What? How can this be?" The masked man was shocked for the first time. What level of pervert is this old guy? Thinking of this, the masked man took a deep breath and said, "Actually, I am not from Uchiha Kagami. This guy is also my enemy. The 8 tails of your village. Let me borrow it and return it to you when I use it." "Then your Sharingan is fake. Don't try to trick me." Third Raikage didn't believe it. "I, a 250-year-old with a high IQ and great intelligence, can't help but curse. In the current ninja world, except for mirrors, only Third Raikage, who is the number 1 real man in Cloud Shinobi village, has achieved such an achievement. These reckless people are indeed brainless, he just thought too much." Third Raikage still didn't believe it and said in a low voice, "You have Sharingan, you are a member of the Uchiha clan. Hand over 8 tails. Or I will kill you, or you kill me, it's that simple." "I don't care, I won't listen. Isn't this deliberately provoking a war? The war has just ended, and Jing has no reason to start another war. This will have a negative impact on him." "Such a freak." "At least," the masked man said tactfully, Sharingan is real, but I really am not his person. If I were really Uchiha Kagami's person, you and Konoha will soon sign a truce agreement. Isn't this deliberately irritating you? Moreover, when he was young, he could fight against 8 Tails for 3 days and 3 nights. Now that his strength has reached a higher level, even 8 Tails is no match for him. The masked man was speechless. It was all caused by Uchiha Kagami. Not everyone can resist a tailed beast bomb. Susanoo can definitely do it, but resisting a tailed beast bomb with one's body, this is really not something that ordinary people can do. Chapter 128 God-Killing Twisted Sword. The only person in charge of intelligence in Cloud Shinobi Village. Advertisement no. Wrong, I should say he has some brains, but not much. These reckless people don't care about you. It's good if you can think of retreating, but if you really use your brain too much, it won't be enough. Third Raikage, do you really think I'm afraid of you? The masked man said in a low voice. Whether you believe it or not, it doesn't matter. If I really want to leave, you can't keep me. Time and space ninjutsu. You can leave, Third Raikage vowed. Your time and space ninjutsu moves too slowly and cannot be compared with Uchiha Kagami's flying thunder god technique. Okay, then I'll show you how powerful Susanoo is. Drink. The masked man shouted angrily. Chakra is mobilized and Susanoo appears. The ribs and arms were condensed one by one, and the skull was completely visible, with no gaps except for the soles of the feet. This is Susanoo in her first form. I saw. The masked man twisted his neck. Chakra Blade raised his hand and waved, causing an astonishing storm. But Third Raikage cannot avoid it. He directly faced the wind and waves and rushed over at a very fast speed. Hell thrust Ibbensen hand, lateral bolt of pain. Chop. Just when the masked man was surprised, at some point, Fourth Raikage also appeared behind him. Boom. Click. A violent collision occurs. The attacks of the two actually broke through Susanoo's defense. Susanoo was directly beaten to a pulp, and the masked man had no choice but to use space distortion, which forced the father and son to retreat temporarily. Damn. The masked man's face was livid, and he was quite shocked. The combined power of these two guys actually defeated my Susanoo. Ah. Damn Uchiha Kagami. Since we defeated the 5 shadows, why did we spare their lives? Now this group of people has become stronger, and even my Susanoo can't deal with it. Third Raikage and Fourth Raikage looked at each other. At the same time, he laughed heartily and heartily. This is the result of our cultivation these days as father and son. But I have to admit that Susanoo is indeed powerful, but the stronger one is Uchiha Kagami. That perfect Susanoo is 200 meters tall. Your rat like Susanoo is more than 10 times worse. The masked man's eyes were almost crooked. Isn't that nonsense? If only I could cast perfect Susanoo. He didn't even need to be sneaky to steal the 8 tails, and he had crushed the Cloud Shinobi village with his complete body and taken away the tailed beast. But although shocked, he was not alarmed, because although he cannot use the complete body, he can still barely use the third form. Then, advertisement, he again mobilizes the chakra throughout his body. The pale ribs condensed one by one, and the Watengu armor was covered. The key is, the long sword in this man's hand has a very strange shape. Not only is the shape distorted, but it also exudes bursts of space power, giving people a very heart-stopping aura. Die. God Slayer Twisted Sword. The twisted sword came through the air. Wherever it went, all seawater and rocks were completely wiped away. But, Third Raikage and Fourth Raikage are extremely fast. He used the technique to avoid a distance of several hundred meters, and then reappeared on the battlefield, only to find that the opponent had long since disappeared. Run away. Ah! Fourth Raikage suddenly roared angrily. 8 tails. 8 tails was taken away by this guy. Father, let's catch up now. Where to chase him? Do you know where he went? Third Raikage asked. Isn't it Konoha? Fourth Raikage asked. Third Raikage said slowly. Although he is a member of the Uchiha clan, it is impossible to say whether he is Uchiha Kagami. But these are not important. We only need to wait until 3 days later to go to Konoha and ask Konoha to hand over the tailed beast. Whether it was directed by the mirror or not, but this person is a member of the Uchiha clan. Then Uchiha Kagami, as the clan leader, must bear responsibility for this, and Konoha must compensate Cloud Shinobi village for losing the tailed beast. If 9 tails can compensate us, it won't be a loss. What if Jing doesn't want to? Fourth Raikage whispered. Don't want to? Third Raikage was stunned for a moment. Could it be that he is really not worried about starting another war? You don't seem to be afraid, right? Although I don't want to admit it, with the strength of the mirror. I can flatten the war by myself, Fourth Raikage said helplessly. This, Third Raikage said firmly. We'll think of a solution then. In short, Cloud Shinobi village must be compensated. Even if 9 tails is not available. Konoha must hand over the culprit. 8 tails must be taken back. The tailed beast is the core of the village's intimidation to the ninja world, and it must not be lost. For this reason, I will not hesitate to lose my life even if it is. Yes, father and son don't have enough brains. So he took the unconscious killer bee back to the village and discussed countermeasures with his deputy Dodai. This person Tudai. How should I put it? He is a very thoughtful person. Moreover, he is the senior leader of Cloud Shinobi who has followed Third Raikage for a long time. When Fourth Raikage I was a candidate for the shadow, he was responsible for selecting a B combination partners. This person has a clear mind and is the only person in Cloud Shinobi village whose IQ is online. Inside the Raikage building, after Todai Ching finished Fourth Raikage's explanation, he showed a thoughtful expression. Sir Raikage, actually you have fallen into a misunderstanding. Sometimes you don't have to use force to make the other party give in, especially when we are not sure about force. Then how can we make Konoha give in? Raikage and his son scratched their heads and wondered. It's very simple. Public opinion forces it. Since the masked man is from the Uchiha clan, then we just need to let the news out. Let the ninja world know that Konoha has clearly ended the war, but it covets the tailed beasts of other ninja villages. Dodai's eyes flashed and said, and Konoha's reputation is increasing day by day. They will definitely not sit back and watch their reputation deteriorate. And we can use this truce agreement to make Konoha make concessions. Oh, can I get 9 tails? Third Raikage asked excitedly. Not likely. Why? Because it's impossible for the other party to hand over 9 tails. Why isn't it possible? Raikage and his son scratched their heads at the same time. The two men have big muscles but empty heads. Todai explained helplessly. Tailed beasts are an important core material for every village to deter the ninja world. The defeated side of Cloud Shinobi village is not willing to lose the tailed beasts, let alone Konoha, which is the war party. It will definitely not be able to get it. It's best not to mention it at all. With Uchiha Kagami's character, he might think that our Cloud Shinobi village is provoking. In this case, we might not even be able to compensate, and even the negotiating representatives who went to Cloud Shinobi village will be punished. Beat. Chapter 129 Kushina is pregnant. What the hell is Uzumaki Menma? Advertisement. Just beat me. We in Cloud Shinobi village are not afraid of fighting. That's right. What my father said is right. It's not just a fight. We're afraid of nothing. Even if we're not as strong as them, we can't be timid at all when it comes to fighting. Raikage and his son clenched their fists. His face was full of excitement and excitement. Todai was speechless and said patiently, fighting is not the point. The point is how to maximize the interests of Cloud Shinobi village in this negotiation. We must get the 8 tails, there is no doubt about it. Whether this masked man was instigated by Konoha or not, we have to pour this dirty water on us. Except for 8 tails. We must try our best to make the compensation in the armistice agreement as low as possible, and even let the village profit. But, after all, this involves a sensitive issue like tailed beasts. If the negotiations really break down, we will ensure that Konoha will not overturn the table, so someone with enough wisdom needs to go there in person. I'll do it. I'm very wise. I have it too. Third Raikage and Fourth Raikage raised their hands at the same time. The look between the two of them made Todai almost roll his eyes. If you two were smart, you would have lost 8 tails. At that time, he felt that it was not a good choice for 8 tails to stay away from the village. But now, 8 tails was indeed lost. But there is no point in blaming now. The person must be suitable and have brains. But the embarrassing thing is that everyone in Cloud Shinobi village is a fool, so it seems that I am the only one. Todai pondered for a moment and said, I am the only one to go. Only I can control this. I will fight for the greatest rights for Cloud Shinobi village. No, it's too dangerous, Todai. The Third Raikage thought without thinking. What if Konoha doesn't respect martial ethics and detains you? At least someone must accompany you, to protect your safety. Then please accompany me, because you have announced your retirement, which can lower Konoha's vigilance a little. However, please do not get angry, Raikage-sama, during this negotiation. Absolutely okay. Fourth Raikage was unwilling. Why don't you let me go? Todai glanced at him and said nothing. Why don't you go? You don't have any idea? Although Third Raikage is prone to anger, in private he is a very peaceful senior who is easy to listen to and is occasionally a little wise. And you Fourth Raikage, well, he completely inherited the reckless character of Third Raikage. He has not learned any wisdom at all, and he is completely impatient, always getting into fights. If Fourth Raikage goes, I'm afraid it will break down without any negotiation, and we will have to take action on the spot. Seeing my son unconvinced, Fourth Raikage raised his right fist and said calmly, Son, did you see it? A fist the size of a sandbag, are you afraid of it? I'm afraid, I won't go. Fourth Raikage was stunned on the spot. As a father, his current strength is quite amazing. The most important thing is that Third Raikage is actually not old, he is only in his 40s now. Compared with Onoki's 62-year-old age, he is considered to be at his peak. Fourth Raikage is the same age as Minato. He's only about 25 years old, so he can't beat the third-generation dad. Since Kagami had defeated the 5 Kages before, the Kages of all major ninja villages were working hard to become stronger, and the Third Raikage made up for the shortcomings in speed. In terms of strength and defense, he went beyond what he had done before and announced his retirement. Advertisement in fact, it is also to paralyze Konoha, hoping to avenge its shame in the future. 3 days later, Konoha village, the land of the Uchiha tribe. The Cloud Shinobi village representatives hadn't arrived yet, but in the patriarch's courtyard, young Fugaku came to the door with several jugs of liquor. A rare visitor, Fugaku. Uchiha Kagami took the wine bottle and deliberately teased. The dignified deputy clan chief has also learned how to deal with favors. Do you understand that you want to bribe me, the clan leader? Haha. Stop making fun of me. Who can bribe you? Fugaku shook his head and said with a smile. Now you are in full swing. Now the village wants you to be the Hokage, but you don't care at all. I'm really angry, but I can understand it. If I were as powerful as you, respected by everyone in the ninja world as the #1 person, a mere Hokage would be nothing. Indeed, it's good if you can figure it out. Uchiha Kagami smiled half-heartedly and said, I'm afraid that the elders like us will understand, but the younger ones won't understand. Especially Itachi. This child's future is limitless. But I think your eldest son seems to be a little confused and at a loss in the past few days. As a father, you need to give him some advice and don't let him go the wrong way. Understood, I will teach him. Where's Sasuke? Is he born soon? It's coming soon. The due date is probably around July. Fugaku looked at him and said helplessly, you were right when you were elected as the clan leader. They were 2 boys. I thought Mikoto had something to do with you, but it turns out that many people seem to know you. Yeah, it's not difficult for me, Mirror smiled. This year is a critical year. It can be said that Konoha's future vitality has increased again. Including Sasuke, all the Konoha 12 were born in this year, but it is the beginning of the year, and it seems that there is no sign of Naruto being born yet. This made him murmur in his heart. Could it be that he caused Minato to take office as Hokage early? But it shouldn't be. These days, he made Minato take supplements every day. He ate everything from bullwhip to oysters, and most of his body recovered. Fugaku was about to ask something when the door was suddenly knocked open. Seeing the patriarch falling into anxiety, thank you teacher for the tonic and bullwhip hot pot. Minato lowered his head and said shyly. Ah, Menma, Uzumaki Menma. The young Minato's face was full of happiness. He directly held Ming's hand and said excitedly. Teacher, I did it, haha, I did it. Kushina is pregnant, haha, it's so exciting. Then my body is so tired that I can't get pregnant? Uchiha Kagami complained, but still patted his shoulder happily. You don't say it takes 1 shot to enter the soul, but you say it takes hundreds of shots to enter the soul. But your kid finally has a child. I am very happy as a teacher, ah. Uchiha Kagami asked casually, and said with a stern look. Have you given this kid a name yet? Is it called Naruto? He became a blockbuster, and this name is pretty good. From now on, it's okay. What did you do? Jing scratched his head. If Sasuke is born and Naruto is a few years late, will it have any impact? Well, the teacher doesn't call her by that name, Minato whispered. It's not so incompetent, right? What's that called? Chapter 130 Playboy Sasuke, Third Raikage comes to Konoha. Advertisement. Uchiha Kagami was stunned. Uzumaki Menma, shouldn't it be Naruto? Etc. The name Uzumaki Menma is very familiar. Isn't this the dark version of Naruto in the movie? The movie version Obito limited Naruto and Sakura to the world of Tsukuyomi. Everything here is reversed. Sasuke is a playboy, and Naruto's parents are still alive. Menma, as the reverse personality of Naruto created by Obito, also has black hair and has been collecting various rare ninjutsu and blood inheritance limits for more than a year. He seems to have the ambition to conquer the world. And teamed up with Obito to put everyone in Konoha into trouble, and the Akatsuki organization, as a mercenary organization of justice, was hired by Konoha to help Naruto. This is also the only experience the Hokage organization has played in a group. It can be described as a killing spree. Even Obito himself was afraid of Itachi's appearance. In reality, Naruto enjoys the warmth of family here. But in the end, he realized that this world was fake, so he defeated Menma and returned to the real world, and Menma in this world also restored his original hair color. But this world is not limited to Tsukuyomi. Why is Naruto numb? Uchiha Kagami thought for a long time and finally came to some conclusions. There is only one possibility. The plot trend of this world is different from the past. The Nine Tails Rebellion will not happen. The name Naruto is also named after the protagonist of The Legend of Endurance, created by Jiraiya, and now Minato is my disciple, not Jiraiya's. Therefore, the two people did not have a deep interaction. Naturally, the name Naruto would not exist, so Uzumaki Menma would be very reasonable. Seeing the teacher's uncomfortable look, Minato wondered, Teacher, what's wrong with you? Are you feeling uncomfortable somewhere? Uchiha Kagami's mouth twitched. It doesn't really matter what Naruto's name is. But the problem is that Menma doesn't sound good, and it's also unlucky. Uchiha Kagami asked, Can you change the name? Name it after Naruto? Naruto? Minato was in a dilemma and whispered. This name is actually quite nice, teacher, but Menma is a name that Kushina and I have been thinking about for a long time. If we just change it, I'm afraid Kushina will go crazy. Okay, Naruto is the daimyo and Menma is the nickname, so there won't be any conflict. Uchiha Kagami came up with an idea. What a great idea, as expected of a teacher. Minato left happily, but Uchiha Kagami was muttering in her heart. Minato and Kushina are unwilling to give up Menma. Will this plot go into the movie version? But it's not very likely. Naruto has been cared for by his parents since childhood. There is no reason to go dark, but Sasuke has this possibility. Well, it doesn't seem right. Uchiha is now no longer in danger of genocide. When Obito joins 5th Hokage, Naruto Sasuke will also grow up. And the Uchiha clan will become the largest clan in Konoha. Strength, fame, and power are all well-deserved firsts. And with the favor of his brother Itachi, Shisui, Obito and other Uchiha geniuses, it is possible for Sasuke to become a playboy and find beautiful girls to play with every day. When I think of this, Uchiha Kagami felt very uncomfortable. The boss stopped pretending to be cool and flirted with girls instead. This is not possible. Fugaku stood nearby and asked curiously when he saw the sad look on the clan leader's face. Clan leader, what's wrong with you? How do you plan to train Sasuke? Jing asked. Well, I just let the geniuses in the clan teach me. What's wrong? Advertisement, you can teach, but don't be too partial. I don't want this kid to become a playboy. If there are any signs of this, tell me in time and I will correct him. Clear. Fugaku wondered though, but he still followed the patriarch's advice. The two chatted for a while, and suddenly Uchiha Yashira appeared and respectfully knelt down on one knee to report. The patriarch, the deputy patriarch. Representatives from Cloud Shinobi village have arrived in Konoha and are now at the gate. Lord Fourth Hokage is receiving them. Are you here? Who is the representative of Cloud Shinobi village? Uchiha Kagami asked curiously. The Third Raikage and Dodai, as well as the 3 Raikage escorts, are not many in number, Yashira said respectfully. Third Raikage came in person? Fugaku and Kagami were both surprised. Didn't you say that Third Raikage has retired? Moreover, this time the surrender agreement was signed, and Cloud Shinobi village had to compensate Konoha. As the Third Raikage, there was actually no need to appear at all. Such a shameful occasion. In fact, only one Jonin is needed, not even an earthen platform. This surprised them a little, and Cage was keenly aware that something was wrong. He looked at Yashira and asked, did something happen in Cloud Shinobi village? That caused the Third Raikage and Dodai to go to Konoha in person? Well, the root tissue is not. Uchiha Yashira hasn't finished speaking yet. But, the aura characteristic of darkness of the ninja world is activated. Uchiha Yashira immediately changed his voice and immediately reported. Reporting to the patriarch, Cloud Shinobi village was attacked by a masked man 3 days ago. 8 tails was taken away. And the masked man is suspected to be a remnant of our clan, so Cloud Shinobi village seems to be here to ask for an explanation. What? Didn't wait for Jing to say anything. Fugaku was immediately shocked. 8 tails was actually captured alive by the masked man? This is definitely a very big event, and Konoha will be condemned if it is not handled properly. This actually has nothing to do with strength. As long as Cloud Shinobi village releases the news. So Konoha originally suppressed the war, but now it is suspected of provoking a war. This will cause Konoha's originally rising reputation to drop, and even hinder the Uchiha clan's original plan to integrate into Konoha. Uchiha Kagami frowned. This matter is indeed not a small matter, and the other party seems to have not publicized it yet. He obviously intends to use this as a bargaining chip, and if Obito wants to succeed 5th Hokage, the village's approval is essential. This matter can be handled in a big or small way. At worst, Cloud Shinobi village will pay less in the agreement or provide other material comfort. Only, what he couldn't figure out was, why did this unknown masked man steal 8 tails? This isn't quite right, is it? Although Project Tasuki no Mi does require the collection of tailed beasts. The Geto statue is in Nagato's hands, so it would be useless for him to collect the tailed beasts. And, shouldn't you start with Shukaku? Could it be that he was just trying to balance himself out of fear that Nagato would collect the tailed beasts first, causing Madara's resurrection plan to fail completely? Clan leader, what should we do now? Fugaku asked. Go meet the Third Raikage and ask them about their needs. This matter must be covered up as much as possible. Uchiha Kagami's eyes flashed, but the village will not be taken advantage of. If Cloud Shinobi village goes too far, there will be no need to pay attention to morality. Let, Gen, be prepared to fight the enemy, to prevent the Third Raikage from flipping the table in anger and fighting breaking out in the village. Suppress them as soon as possible. Chapter 131 Be confident, no one can blackmail Konoha. Advertisement, yes, Patriarch. Uchiha Yashira and Fugaku both left. Uchiha Kagami, on the other hand, put on black casual clothes, with the muscles on his chest looming, and went straight to the location where the two parties were negotiating. The other side, in the reception hall, there is a long table. Opposite him sat the Third Raikage and Dodai, as well as 3 Raikage guards. Sitting opposite were 4th Hokage Namikaze Minato and veteran Ino Shikacho, but the main people negotiating between the two parties were Dodai and Nara Shikaku. Everyone in Konoha. Dodai wanted to gain the upper hand as soon as he opened his mouth, and his words were very sharp. Our village was attacked by your Uchiha clan and took away our 8 tails. Konoha must give us an explanation. Uchiha stole 8 tails. Nara Shikaku didn't believe it and said tit for tat. What you said is a bit fanciful. All members of our Uchiha clan are in Konoha. How could we go to your Cloud Shinobi village to attack and steal your tailed beasts? Even if you want to reduce the compensation amount, you shouldn't talk nonsense here, right? It will only make us look down on you, Cloud Shinobi village. You said we lied? Raikage-sama, please do not get angry. Third Raikage was furious. Just when he was about to get angry, he was stopped by Tudai's eyes. The Third Raikage could only sit down, and Tudai thought for a moment and said, it seems that your village has not received the news yet, but what I said is true. Because this matter was witnessed by the Third Raikage and the Fourth Raikage. And, if Lord Raikage and the others hadn't taken action, that Uchiha clan member would have killed Killer B. This is an undeniable fact. Oh, since you said that person is from the Uchiha clan, who do you think he is? To be able to escape from the 2 Raikage lords, he must be at least Mangekyō Sharingan, right? But as far as I know, there are currently only 3 people in the ninja world bit. Nara Shikaku looked joking. One is Lord Uchiha Kagami, one is his eldest grandson Shisui, and the other is the young hero Uchiha Obito. If that person really has Mangekyō, how can he be so unknown? I don't know, but that person does have Mangekyō, and he used the White Susanoo in front of us, Dodai said in a low voice. White Susanoo? Nara Shikaku's expression changed. This information was only known to a few high-level officials in Konoha. Kirigakure sent out to test Konoha, but Shisui met the masked man, and the confrontation completely confirmed the identity of this man's Uchiha clan. But originally, only Konoha knew this news. Now even Cloud Shinobi village knows about it, which is undoubtedly a huge handle. Although I don't know who the man in the Uchiha mask is, and he may be a rebellious ninja of Konoha, he is inseparable from Konoha no matter what. In this negotiation, Konoha seems to have no choice but to pay the price. Dodai showed a smile. We are not demanding too much. We only need Konoha to hand over the culprit and return our tailed beast, and we must also compensate us 1 billion taels, so that we will not spread the news. Hand over the culprit? Return the tailed beast? Nara Shikaku was in trouble. They don't know who the masked man is, so how can they hand over the culprit? Advertisement: he also took away the tailed beasts, how to return them. And 1 billion is not a small amount, although he is smart. But when it comes to the Uchiha clan, especially the mirror is now in full swing. If he didn't handle it well, he might suffer some criticism, which made him hesitate, but at this moment. A squeak. The door opened and someone walked in. Cloud Shinobi village, do you think just an unknown defector Uchiha can take advantage of our Konoha? Uchiha Kagami. I saw someone coming. Third Raikage and Dodai both looked tense and felt a little guilty. Especially the former has seen the power of the complete Susanoo. Even though his strength has increased a lot now, he is still not sure to compete with it. Dodai looked cautious, but he still argued with reason. What do you mean, Master Kagami? Do you think our Cloud Shinobi village has gone too far? Isn't it your Konoha's fault that caused our Cloud Shinobi village to suffer heavy losses? Haha. According to what you said, I went to Cloud Shinobi village some time ago and was bitten by one of your Cloud Shinobi village ants. Uchiha Kagami joked. Now I want your Cloud Shinobi village to compensate you 10 billion taels, and I also need to find the ant that bit me. Isn't that too much? You can't do it, can you? No? This, Dodai was suddenly speechless. Why doesn't this person act according to common sense? I'm trying to reason with you, but you started cheating on me? If an ant in Cloud Shinobi village bites you, you have to pay 10 billion in compensation. Isn't this naked extortion? And we have to find that ant. This is simply like looking for a needle in a haystack. Why is this person so rogue? Dodai originally thought that Jing was a gentle and easy-to-talk person, but now it seems that the rumors are problematic. Seeing that his family was being embarrassed, Third Raikage stood up, stared into the mirror and said, We are old rivals, so I'll put it bluntly. We can understand that you can't hand over the culprit in 8 taels. After all, no one knows who the masked man is, but our compensation of 1 billion taels cannot be less. This is the bottom line of our Cloud Shinobi village. Impossible. Not to mention 1 billion, I won't give you even 1 tael. You are here to sign a surrender compensation agreement, and you still want us to compensate you in return? Uchiha Kagami said confidently. You, Uchiha Kagami, aren't you afraid that the news will spread? Even if you are afraid of war, it is not a good thing for Konoha's external image. Third Raikage is angry, but what's more surprising is that the other party is confident. They didn't even want to pay a dime in compensation, which made their calculations come to nothing, and they were even more confused about why Jing dared to be so unscrupulous. Just because you don't spread it doesn't mean others don't spread it. Uchiha Kagami said calmly. That masked man has attacked my disciples and dealt with my grandson. He wants to cause trouble to Konoha more than anyone else. Therefore, your guarantee is worthless in my eyes. Since the news will spread sooner or later, it makes no difference to Konoha whether it is sooner or later. Konoha does not allow anyone to provoke or blackmail. There will be no compensation at all, and you have to sign the surrender agreement. What if we don't sign? Third Raikage suppressed his anger. Don't sign? Okay. Uchiha Kagami's eyes were calm, but his words were shocking. Then I can tell you without hesitation, within 10 days I will personally visit the Land of Thunder, and Cloud Shinobi village will also be destroyed because of you. Chapter 132 Death of Third Raikage, my Minato support teacher. Advertisement. A hole. Uchiha Kagami. Third Raikage couldn't sit still and asked coldly. Are you really going to destroy the lives of the ninja world? I always thought. You are a peace-loving and humble person. I didn't expect you to be as ambitious as the original Uchiha Madara. No, you are wrong. Uchiha Kagami looked calm. It is precisely because I am a humble person that you 5 shadows have been defeated by me several times. I can still save your lives, and it is precisely because I love peace. That is why I choose war. Uchiha Madara originally wanted to unify the ninja world and make all the major countries surrender, but Senju Hashirama did not agree with this view, so this mess was left. The 5 major nations were constantly competing. The ninja world can never be peaceful. And I destroyed your Cloud Shinobi village, and then made other shinobi villages surrender to Konoha one after another. This can be regarded as a contribution to the peace of the shinobi world. Crooked reasoning. You are crooked, Third Raikage said angrily. You will only breed more hatred, and the ninja world will only return to peace due to your force. After you die, the world will still be in war. Then who can control so much? The ninja world will be peaceful for a period of time. It is much better than being in chaos all the time, isn't it? Let me wake you up. No, Raikage-sama, stop. Third Raikage was furious. Dodai wanted to stop it, but it was too late. I saw that his lightning-style armor was fully activated, and arcs of electricity wrapped around him. Zitsa. He's very fast. He raised his hand and stabbed hard with his index finger. But Uchiha Kagami didn't panic. While his body was covered with lightning, he lightly struck it with his right index finger. Boom. Click. Third Raikage's index finger is broken. The whole person was knocked through the wall of the reception hall by the huge force. Blood spurted out from the corner of his mouth, and his face turned pale. How can it be? Third Raikage was shocked in his heart. This guy's physical strength actually completely crushed me. In terms of lightning style and ninjutsu, Uchiha Kagami's attainments are actually several times better than mine. Although you have made up for your shortcomings in speed, you are still not qualified. Third Raikage, you are the one who attacked me first. You Cloud Shinobi village toasters are not allowed to drink wine as punishment. I've had enough of you people holding me back, so I'll send you on your way. Uchiha Kagami smiled coldly. The dark eyes turned into Scarlet 3 Magatama. Under the control of the illusion, Third Raikage immediately fell into a coma, and Uchiha Kagami walked towards Third Raikage step by step. Tread, 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 step by step, the feeling of pressure is full. Everyone present, whether it was Cloud Shinobi village or Konoha, held their breath. As the fourth Hokage, Minato originally had a reason to stop him, but as Kagami's student, he had no reason to stop the teacher. Dodai stood in front of Third Raikage and burst into tears. No, Mirror. Master Mirror, we were wrong. We signed the surrender agreement, and compensation will be given to you. I just ask you not to kill Mr. Raikage. Mr. Raikage was confused for a moment. Confused for a moment? Uchiha Kagami looked at him, his expression getting colder and colder. Dodai, you are the only smart person in Cloud Shinobi village. You brought him here just to scare Konoha with force and to blackmail Konoha by losing more aid tails. Do you think I don't clear? No. I'm not. Dodai was speechless. It's just that the Third Raikage doesn't have enough brains to dare to attack me. You are the surrendering party, but you dare to act wild on our territory? Uchiha Kagami interrupted him. As a matter of personal relationship, during the Second Ninja War, I fought against Third Raikage. I defeated him and asked Tsunade to renew his life. During the Third Ninja War, the father and son wanted you to avenge your shame and be defeated by me again. But I still spared them. The third time you 5 shadows united to try to save face, but in the end you were still allowed to survive. Could it be that I wasn't humble enough? I have done my best to be benevolent and righteous. Yes. Advertisement after so many years of war. The confrontation between Konoha and the major ninja villages has been done with all kindness and justice. Out of consideration for the future, except for killing Granny Chiyo at the beginning, he never took the initiative to kill any Kage. They were only captured alive a few times, but this group of people is not only ungrateful, but in turn, he blackmailed Konoha, which made Jing intolerable. So at this moment, he suddenly felt that he was still gentle, and it was time to kill 1 or 2 shadows to shock the genin world. No, do not want, get away. Uchiha Kagami raised his hand and threw the platform away. He walked straight towards the Third Raikage and the lightning in his right hand flashed. Poof! Chidori pierced his heart directly. Third Raikage is dead, this time for real. No reason, why is this happening? Old Tutai burst into tears. He felt like he was having a nervous breakdown. He thought he could get some benefits from the masked man. Even if he couldn't get it, he could just pay less compensation in the surrender agreement, but he didn't expect that Konoha would be completely confident. Why? Looking at the earthen platform slumped on the ground. Namikaze Minato sighed inwardly. He actually understood the teacher's difficulties. Because the pressure the teacher faced was too great, especially after he learned about the threats from those who claimed to be celestial beings. He knew very well that the ninja world must be unified as soon as possible and peace was needed. Only in this way can we cultivate more effective forces to fight against them. The teacher wanted peace in the ninja world more than anyone else, so even during the 2 ninja wars, he actually did not deal harshly with the shadows of the major ninja villages. But no one understands the teacher, and Cloud Shinobi village went even further and tried to blackmail Konoha. This made Uchiha Kagami's heart suddenly freeze. He decided to kill the chicken to scare the monkeys and let those big countries understand the truth. Anyone who dares to provoke Konoha will die. Uchiha Kagami doesn't want to kill anyone. He is such a gentle person, and he can't understand why people keep forcing him. Dodai wiped away his tears and looked at Minato, who was always silent. Master Fourth Hokage, I always thought you would stop him. Sorry, I support whatever decision the teacher makes, my condolences, Minato said helplessly. Understood. Dodai murmured a few words, under the gaze of everyone in Konoha. Dodai signed the surrender agreement and left with the people and corpses. Their eyes are full of hatred and revenge, and the death of Third Raikage will completely change the future pattern and direction of the ninja world. Everyone left. Only Namikaze Minato, master and apprentice, were left. Uchiha Kagami looked at the blood on the ground and seemed to fall into a brief silence. Minato hesitated for a moment and comforted. Teacher, you don't have to blame yourself. You have been merciful in our previous fights. But they want to kill you every time. This time Third Raikage lost his mind and deserves this end. Chapter 133 Tobirama is also a face-saving person, you must respect him. Advertisement, and they don't understand your difficulties. Minato continued. The ninja world needs peace. The 5 major ninja villages must be unified. Bloodshed is the inevitable path. No matter what, we will support you behind your back. Good boy, actually I don't blame myself at all. Uchiha Kagami patted his head and said leisurely, I was just thinking that people can't empathize with each other. Since we have done this, we must be prepared to bear the infamy, even if we are not understood by the world, it doesn't matter. But it's a pleasure to have you by my side on this road. Hey, Minato smiled, but suddenly thought of something. Teacher, Sir First Hokage, do you need to hide it? No need, we can't hide this news, and we should explain it to my eldest brother, but with my eldest brother's temperament, I probably won't understand. Uchiha Kagami shrugged. He turned around and left, quickly returning home. In the courtyard, Senju Hashirama was wearing a mask. When he saw the mirror, he asked curiously, "How are you negotiating with Cloud Shinobi Village? The surrender agreement does not need to be so harsh, it is okay to pay less." "I just sensed a big movement. Did you take action? Third brother, don't have such a bad temper. You have to be tolerant towards the weak." "Cloud Shinobi Village signed, but Third Raikage was killed by me," Jing said straightforwardly. "Huh? What did you say?" Hashirama was confused. "The Third Raikage tried to blackmail Konoha, but I killed him. Dodai signed a surrender agreement on behalf of Cloud Shinobi Village," Mirror said. "What? You? Senju Hashirama couldn't sit still for a moment. "How could you kill Third Raikage? Although I have never dealt with this junior. But I also know that Cloud Shinobi Village has always had a bad temper. Third brother, can't you just give them a little concession? The strong will give way to the weak." Uchiha Kagami couldn't help but sneer. "Brother, are you kidding me? And the weak still wants to blackmail the strong. As the defeated party. Also wants to blackmail the victor. How can I convince Konoha if I don't give him a lesson?" "No. Even so, just teach him a lesson. Why did you kill the Third Raikage? It's easy for you to start another war like this." Senju Hashirama sighed. "That's better. I'll take advantage of the war to flatten the ninja world by myself and unify the ninja world." Uchiha Kagami vowed. "But wouldn't that cause the ninja world to be devastated again? Didn't you just end the Third Ninja World War? The third brother personally used force to flatten the ninja world. I personally think this method is wrong," Hashirama retorted. "Wrong? What's wrong?" Uchiha Kagami replied. "Like how you distributed tailed beasts before? On the surface, it seems peaceful, but in fact, the 5 major ninja villages at that time were afraid of the strength of you and Uchiha Madara. They didn't dare to jump around. Not long after you and Madara died, the first ninja war broke out. The war lasted for many years, and there were countless casualties in the ninja world. And your behavior of distributing tailed beasts was even more idiotic. Tailed beasts are not counted in your eyes. What? But the ninja world at that time was enough to become a direct trigger of war between all parties. The major ninja villages were constantly fighting, and constantly competing for resources and land. It was also because you failed to unify the ninja world at that time, which led to the current situation. I'm here to clean up your mess, but you think I did something wrong? No, I didn't say what you did was wrong, I just thought it was a bit extreme. And how did you talk to eldest brother? Senju Hashirama slapped the table angrily and said with a sad look, "How can this be called a mess? Uchiha Madara wanted to unify the ninja world, and even Tobirama agreed. But what if there is peace? Madara and I will die sooner or later." Advertisement. The ninja world will not fall into chaos by then. Although the system of the 5 major ninja villages has some flaws, at least it will not make the ninja world as cruel as the Sengoku era. You know, that time. What's the average age of a ninja? It's only 30 years old. In order to continue the family, major clans usually have children while fighting. It's common for 5 or 6-year-old children to die on the battlefield, but isn't that cruel? Do you know? I originally had 3 younger brothers. The third brother, Senju Itama, was killed by the Hagoromo clan at the age of 7. The fourth brother, Senju Itama, was besieged and died by Uchiha. He was only 5 years old. In such an era, I don't want to go back. Hear this. Uchiha Kagami was stunned. Hashirama actually has 2 other brothers? But they were all killed at a certain age. This was actually the first time he knew. Looking at Senju Hashirama's sad eyes, Uchiha Kagami softened his tone, clenched his fists and said, "I'm sorry, I know, brother, you don't want the ninja world to fall into an era of chaos again. You don't want the children to die on the battlefield at a young age, I understand where you're coming from. But for me, dying on the battlefield at the age of 10 is still a very cruel fact. I hope for peace in the ninja world. I never want to bring chaos to the ninja world, and you may not even know. Outside the ninja world there are greater threats. Tobirama is also a face-saving person, you have to respect him." Uchiha Kagami spent a few minutes. Of course, it also includes all the reasons for Madara and Black Zetsu, and the current structure of the ninja world is also closely related to the Otsutsuki clan. Let me tell you a story first. Once upon a time, 2 Otsutsuki clan members came to the ninja world. One of them was named Otsutsuki Ashiki, and the other was named Otsutsuki Kagaya. Senju Hashirama touched his chin, coughed a few times and said, "Ahem, after all, he is your second brother. What's so shady? What's so bad about morals? As a younger brother, don't talk about him so casually." Uchiha Kagami. Operator. Hashirama took a while to come back to his senses, and then said in disbelief. "In other words, the threat we have to face is an existence more terrifying than the Sage of 6 Paths. No wonder you don't hesitate to use force to unify the ninja world. Of course, the second brother will also be indispensable in the future." Uchiha Kagami nodded. "And the reason why I resurrected you, brother, besides learning the immeasurable senjutsu, is also because I want you to help me. After all, there is strength in numbers. But although the second brother is a bit weaker in strength, he has a good brain and a shady character. He has no moral bottom line. He may have a miraculous effect on dealing with Otsutsuki." It briefly tells the origin of the Otsutsuki clan. Yes, you can say that. Even me now. I don't have the confidence to deal with the strength of those people, so I must cut through the chaos quickly and bring peace to the ninja world. That's the truth. In the past, I always thought that Tobirama was indifferent and the techniques he studied were not serious. Now it seems that it is not completely useless. There is too much information, a bigger threat. What do you mean? Senju Hashirama was stunned. Chapter 134 The Masked Man returns to Cloud Shinobi Village and returns 8 tails. Advertisement Uchiha Kagami complained. Brother, didn't you just say that the second brother doesn't do human affairs? You also said that the techniques he studies are not serious. Senju Hashirama said with a smile. I am the eldest brother, of course I can talk about him, but if you are the younger brother, even if you think so in your heart, ahem. Even I agree, but on the surface you must respect your second brother. Okay, respect. Uchiha Kagami nodded perfunctorily. After the two chatted, Senju Hashirama sighed. Although I still don't agree with killing the Third Raikage, you have already done it. Then let's face it. Do you think Cloud Shinobi Village will provoke a war again? Most likely not. Uchiha Kagami shook his head. Why? Didn't you say that everyone in Cloud Shinobi Village is reckless? Recklessness does not mean being brainless. Fourth Raikage will definitely be angry because of his father's death, but Dodai, as the wise man of Cloud Shinobi Village, will learn a lesson this time, because they are not sure of taking Konoha. Uchiha Kagami said slowly. There is a high probability that they will attack us in public opinion, and then secretly cooperate with other ninja villages behind the scenes. Moreover, the Third Ninja World War has just ended, and the ninjas in the major ninja villages have suffered a lot. They need more time to recharge their batteries, so don't worry. Our new generation of young people in Konoha will soon be trained. Even if the Fourth Ninja War breaks out, Konoha will not be afraid. Yeah, that's right. Senju Hashirama nodded. Uchiha Kagami's strength now exceeds his. Although the gap is not very big, 2 people are equivalent to 2 ninja gods. The terrifying strength of the combination can be imagined. The 2 of them can overwhelm the entire ninja world without even needing a junior to appear. A few days later, Cloud Shinobi Village. In front of the tombstone of Third Raikage, Dodai, I, and Bai, dressed in black, mourned silently. Fourth Raikage clenched his fists, with tears in his eyes. I want revenge. I want to avenge my father, and I will launch a war against Konoha now, immediately. Report to the Daming Prefecture and ask for financial support for the war. Raikage-sama, don't be impulsive. Tudai became anxious and immediately stopped him. The Third Ninja World War has just ended. The Daming Palace will not give us financial support, and even if we launch a war and unite other ninja villages, we will not be able to defeat Mew, Leaf. I don't care. I must take revenge. Damn Uchiha Kagami. How dare he? My father just got emotional and he killed my father, woo-woo. A man doesn't shed tears easily, but before reaching the sad point, Fourth Raikage cried. This burly man felt the loss of his father for the first time, and he burst into tears unbearably. Why? Tudai sighed. Forcibly suppress the sadness and pain in my heart. No one wants revenge better than him. He and Third Raikage are not only colleagues, but also partners who have fought together. The moment the Third Raikage was killed, he even had the urge to rush forward and kill Uchiha Kagami, but reason overcame his anger. He knew that even if he rushed forward like this, there would only be one more body. Even if he died like that, no one could stop the son of the Third Raikage from starting another war to avenge his father. Once Konoha destroyed Cloud Shinobi Village, then he will be held back for the rest of his life, so now he must endure it and wait for the opportunity. But Fourth Raikage had a more intense personality than Lousy and did not listen to advice at all. Tudai glanced helplessly at Bai next to him. Killer Bee understood and stepped forward to comfort him. Brother, I can understand your mood, but we must endure it. The village has just experienced a war, and it has not recovered yet. And even 8 tails has been lost. You must calm down. Fourth Raikage's eyes were red. Advertisement. He grabbed his brother's collar and roared hoarsely. How do you want me to calm down? My father is dead. He is dead. If I had known this, I should have died in my father's place. Brother, Zalba was taken away. I wanted to die at that time. I also understand what it feels like to lose a loved one. Killer Bee angrily yelled. But are you going to die like this? And then be killed by Uchiha Kagami? The late Raikage-sama will look down on you? And what you have to do now? I'm not here to feel sorry for myself, but to practice harder and inherit my father's title of the strongest Raikage. I understand. Fourth Raikage was scolded to wake up. It was the first time that he was scolded like this by his younger brother Killer Bee. He also understood that what the other party said was true, and he also understood that he had to endure it in order to avenge his father. Wait. I want to become stronger. Sooner or later, I'm going to kill Uchiha Kagami. Fourth Raikage clenched his fists. Suddenly, the space in front of him became distorted. A mysterious man wearing a vortex mask appears. Everyone in Cloud Shinobi Village, I can help you. You again? Fourth Raikage was furious on the spot. The lightning coat on his body burst out, and he rushed over. Tudai was about to stop him, but it was too late. He saw the masked man's eyes suddenly focus, and the space was distorted at the same time. Tisk. Tisk. The huge 8 tails was released. Although he was in a coma, he obviously still couldn't escape Mangekyō's control. But he didn't expect Fourth Raikage to be so overwhelmed by hatred that he actually regarded him as his enemy, even though he did have some reasons. Fourth Raikage said angrily, if you hadn't snatched 8 tails, my father wouldn't have lost his life trying to negotiate with Konoha. If it hadn't been for you, my father wouldn't have died either. You are also one of my enemies. Because Uchiha Madara cannot be resurrected for the time being, and Nagato cannot conquer it, the tailed beast must be captured in advance. The masked man said lightly, although I am a member of the Uchiha clan, both Konoha and Uchiha Kagami are enemies to me. I can cooperate with you Cloud Shinobi village. Let's kill Uchiha Kagami together. It also prevents Uchiha Kagami from becoming 10 tails Jinchuriki in advance. What do you mean? But the reason, and got 8 tails. He actually snatched 8 tails for a reason. As for why not choose other targets? Because other ninja villages take intensive measures to protect tailed beasts. It's very simple, 8 tails is returned to you. I don't believe it, you can't even try to lie to me. The masked man felt funny. Cloud Shinobi village was the most neglectful, especially since Killer Bee isolated the entire Shinobi village, with only 1 or 2 guards around it, so it was easier. Fourth Raikage hurriedly stopped and stared at the masked man with murderous intent in his eyes. Shouldn't it be that Third Raikage is brainless? What's wrong with you, a reckless man? I gave away my own food, and I came to repay your tailed beast with good intentions, but you actually treat me as an enemy? Chapter 135I, Black Zetsu, only care about one word, filial piety. Advertisement back then Uchiha Kagami was able to beat you 5 cage violently, but you finally spared a dog's life at the cost of surrender. The result? Went to Konoha to blackmail again, but the leader of Konoha is not Uchiha Kagami. Maybe they will just turn a blind eye and give you some compensation. But you really chose the wrong person. This Uchiha Kagami is ambitious and appears to be modest, but in fact he is not merciless at all in killing people. Konoha is in full swing now, why should people let you blackmail them? Result, you could have left after signing the surrender agreement. He still rushes forward to provoke him stupidly, isn't this seeking death? As long as you Cloud Shinobi village has a normal mind and a stable mood, you won't be killed when you sign the surrender agreement. Good guy. Think about it carefully, Third Raikage came to surrender but was killed instead. This seems to be the first time in the history of the ninja world, right? He's even hopelessly stupid, and although Todai is smart, he can't stop the Third Raikage from above. Is this okay? Todai also stood up, narrowed his eyes and said, do you really want to cooperate with us? But I don't know what grudge you have with Uchiha Kagami, and I don't know your identity. I'm afraid cooperation will not be that easy. I can't tell you my identity. The masked man took a deep breath and deliberately revealed some inside information. But what I can tell you clearly is that I was once a genius of the Uchiha clan. Mirror was a few years younger than me. The second Hokage was in power at the time. But the Uchiha clan doesn't trust us and monitors us. Our clan founded Konoha together with the Senju clan. We have no rights at all, but we are treated like this. This is so chilling. So, I staged a coup and it failed. Oh, Todai suddenly realized. Suddenly I felt that the person in front of me was not lying. Because this person's tone of voice was completely different from before. There was an indescribable sincerity and sadness, and he was most likely not faking it. It seems, you are not Uchiha Madara, Todai said with narrowed eyes. The masked man shook his head and said persistently, no, at least now I am Uchiha Madara, and I can only be Uchiha Madara. Originally, I did not intend to return 8 tails, but in order to show my sincerity and cooperation, I can return it you. But just cooperating with your Cloud Shinobi village is not enough. In addition to Konoha, the 3 major shinobi villages also need to cooperate, but you don't have to worry. I will discuss with them face to face. But, Todai frowned and said, how can we deal with Uchiha Kagami? Even though he hates to admit it, he once easily defeated the 5 shadows. Such a strength is no less than that of the original god of ninja. Even if we unite all the major ninja villages, we still won't be able to kill Uchiha Kagami. You don't have to worry about it, someone will deal with him. Good. The 2 sides just cooperated hastily. If Fourth Raikage had his temper in the past, he would definitely not cooperate with such a secretive rat, but his father's death made him go to his head. With Todai and Killer Bee's persuasion, he agreed. After the masked man left, the death of the Third Raikage shocked the ninja world. The Fourth Raikage announced Konoha's ambition to unify the ninja world, trying to plunge the originally peaceful world into chaos again. Konoha's reputation has declined even more. Coupled with the fact that Cloud Shinobi village put the blame of the masked tail-stealing beast on Konoha's head, public opinion in the ninja world seemed to be in chaos. Advertisement, damn it. Third Raikage is dead. This man is one of the few real men in the ninja world. That muscular stick was actually killed by Red Fangs. No, what's going on? Isn't Jing a good person? What a fart. It seems that I was all pretending before. I've known for a long time that such people are evil. Is there something wrong upstairs? The tailed beast in Cloud Shinobi village was not snatched by Konoha. Konoha has already declared that it is a remnant of the Uchiha clan. Bullshit. If he says it's not, then it's not. Anyway, I think there is a conspiracy here. The Red Fang defeated Cage so many times, and the Third Raikage also released it 3 times. Without killing him. It was him who committed suicide in order to blackmail Konoha. That's right, if I can't bear it, even if I spare you so many times, you still dare to bite your nose and face. Konoha is the #1 ninja village. Uchiha Kagami is the new legend of the ninja world, and I can still let you bully me. The major taverns in the ninja world, as well as the place of employment, the ninjas were all talking about it. Originally, Konoha's good image was controversial, but it did not appear to be one-sided. This is because the previous public opinion played a role. The land of Earth, on the hillside. The masked man just sat on it, without any scruples about his image. After a while, something pitch black came out of the ground. Black Zetsu said hoarsely. Konoha has not suffered much damage in public opinion, and other ninja villages do not know the inside story. And as long as Uchiha Kagami does not endanger their interests, they may not really cooperate with us. It seems that I have to work harder and give Konoha another scapegoat, the masked man said. What scapegoat? I pretended to be from Konoha and went to kill the son of the third Tsuchikage. Oh, what a good idea. You are from the Uchiha clan, so you can pretend to be them. Who are you going to choose? Obito, his Kamui, is very similar to my Kamui. The masked man showed a treacherous smile, but there are still some subtle differences, so I must avoid using time and space ninjutsu, and try to use the techniques taught me by the Uchiha clan and Madara-sama. Obito can also use them, and they can be fake. At first, work harder. Hagoromo and Hamura sealed their mother. Black Zetsu's heart became colder and colder. I have lived for thousands of years for my mother, and finally I see a glimmer of hope. Don't make any mistakes. What's wrong with him? As the third son of Otsutsuki Kagaya, he does not pursue any material or ideal. What matters is one word, filial piety, but I couldn't help but be surprised. This little heart is so cruel. As long as the son of third Tsuchikage dies in the hands of Konoha, then Onoki has to cooperate even if he doesn't cooperate. He doesn't want his dead son to hate him, right? Okay, it's settled. Hey. What two unfilial sons they are, there is no way to compare them to Black Zetsu. Black Zetsu applauds this plan. Does he know what his mother has been doing all these years? And you Uchiha Kagami, you've hindered my plan. I can only send you to die. Wait until Madara is resurrected and becomes 10 Tails Jinchuriki. In order to make Konoha the target of public criticism, the plan is really more sinister than him, but the more it goes like this, the more satisfied he becomes. Then the plan to resurrect the mother will be closer. Chapter 136 Uchiha of Konoha, you must die a good death. Advertisement. Do you want to tell Afe? Afe is not only good at camouflage but also very strong. Maybe he can be used to lure Lois out. Black Zetsu said suddenly. No need. Fei's position is uncertain. There are many outposts in Earth Kingdom that are wary of foreign enemies. I just need to kill all the ninjas and destroy the outposts. Iwagakure will definitely send Jonin to investigate the situation. The masked man shook his head. Huh? Isn't this a bit too arrogant? It would be troublesome if Onoki discovers it. His dust release is not that easy to deal with. Black Zetsu said worriedly. It doesn't matter. It doesn't take much effort to kill Lois. Onoki has no chance. Then how can you guarantee that it must be Lois? What if it is the third Tsuchikage himself? Get it just right. Sway the tiger away from the mountain. I will sneak into Iwagakure and kill his son. All right. Seeing him look so confident, Black Zetsu couldn't resist, so the man in the space distortion mask left. It didn't take long. With White Zetsu's intelligence network, Iwagakure's outpost in Earth Country was quickly found. There are usually only 3 to 4 ninjas in the outpost, which is not many, and their strength is only at the level of Chunin to Special Jonin. So, after a while, he killed a dozen ninjas and destroyed 3 outposts. Things were different when we arrived at the 4th outpost. Not only was there the Special Jonin Sumashi, but there were also Jonin-level demon leeches. The demon leech's eyes were sharp and he asked coldly, Who are you? What is the purpose of sneaking into our country of Earth? Who am I? Won't you know later? The masked man sneered. He raised his hand and threw out a large piece of kunai. Clang. Dang. 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 Leech pulled out a katana. He raised his hand to knock the kunai away and rushed over at extremely fast speeds. The blade in his hand is messy and he looks disorganized, but in fact he is a master of using knives. But, the masked man saw the opportunity and his eyes turned into 3 Magatama. Sharingan. Damn it, the devil's pupils tightened. He was caught in an illusion, and Suma Shi not far away was extremely anxious. He was about to use ninjutsu to protect his teammates, but it was too late. The masked man grabbed the leech's neck with his hand. Click. The neck was broken and the leech died. Suma Ji felt as if he was facing a formidable enemy, and quickly formed seals with his hands. Earth Style split the earth and turned the palm. He pressed his hands to the ground. The ground began to shake, trying to trap the enemy to death. But the masked man stomped his feet, jumped up, and opened his mouth. Fire Style Great Fireball Technique, whoop. A large area of flames covered it. The range is very wide, and Suma Shi cannot avoid it at all. His body was immediately on fire, and his whole body let out a wail of pain and hatred. No, Uchiha. Uchiha of Konoha, you must die well, Iwagakure Jonin and Special Jonin are both dead, advertisement. In fact, the magic leech just now is not weak at all. Not only is he very skilled in swordsmanship, he is also very good at shadow clone technique. Can use 20 clones at one time, but no matter what. The masked man is stronger and has a Sharingan. They were completely unprepared due to their negligence, and it was better to see the two of them face to face. And at this moment, there was blood on the ground. The masked man just sat on the corpse, his black robe flowing in the wind, quietly waiting for the bait to take the bait. Onoki, or Lois. No matter who comes this time, the result will be the same. Konoha will not be able to escape your blame. The land of Earth. Iwagakure, inside the Tsuchikage building. At this moment, the top brass received news of the death of Third Raikage. As Onoki's son, Wangtu is very tall and strong, and he can't hold back his temper at this moment. Konoha bullies people too much. To actually kill the Third Raikage, this is simply a provocation to the ninja world. I think we must unite to deal with Konoha. After hearing this, Onoki shook his head. No, Third Raikage is still too reckless. But Uchiha Kagami killing Ichimura Kage is still a bit too much, but we can't unite now. First, Iwagakure finally stabilized. The Third Ninja War has just ended. We need to recuperate. If we anger Uchiha Kagami, there will be no good fruits to eat. But, I heard that Konoha seems to have the ambition to unify the ninja world. Uchiha Kagami's strength is comparable to the god of ninja. Once we join the battlefield, our chances of winning are too low. Do we really want to watch the world fall into war? Wangtu clenched his fists. As the son of Third Tsuchikage, his personality is completely different from that of his father. He is neither sinister nor sinister, and can even be said to be very upright. He does not want the ninja world to fall into war. Onoki glanced at him lightly and analyzed seriously. Although they have experienced 2 wars, the Jonin of Konoha have almost no losses, but the Chunin and Genin have also suffered a lot, and they dare not start a war now. But, just pretend that nothing happened? If not? Anbu with Iwagakure appears. He knelt down on one knee, wearing a mask, and said anxiously, "It's not good, Master Tsuchikage. 4 outposts near the border were destroyed, and all the ninjas were killed. The enemy seems to be the Uchiha clan of Konoha. So what does it matter?" Onoki was dissatisfied. "It's not Uchiha Kagami. It's a boy. Who could it be?" Onoki breathed a sigh of relief. Rock Shinobi Anbu said, "Jonin Demon Leech and Suma Shi were killed when they met each other. Please support me immediately. Maybe it's Uchiha Obito of Konoha. This one is already famous, and is respected as a young hero of Konoha by the 4th Hokage. Like Uchiha Kagami back then, he awakened the Mangekyō Sharingan and has unfathomable strength," Wangtu said firmly. "He is a young man after all, he is too passionate and righteous." "Really? Then who should we send? How about, I go by myself?" "No, he looks like a young man. There seems to be a scar on the left side of his face. I can only observe him from a distance. He is very, very strong." Suddenly, as long as it does not endanger the interests of the Earth Kingdom, in his opinion, there is no need to worry. "It's Uchiha Kagami," Onoki blurted out, but Huang Tu obliged and said, "As a personal matter, I don't want to lose my father, so just let me do it." In fact, Cloud Shinobi village is also an enemy to them. The death of Third Raikage is actually not bad news, but it is unfavorable compared to the entire ninja world. Just when Wangtu felt dissatisfied, "No, father, I'll go. This may be Konoha's conspiracy. You are the head of a village. If you pass away like the Third Raikage, our loss will be too great." Chapter 137 Lois vs. Masked Man, Wood-Style Cutting Technique. Advertisement. Onoki was deeply moved, but he was still hesitant, and he was indeed worried about Konoha's conspiracy. Although his son is an elite Jonin, the young hero Uchiha is not a good person. Although there is no achievement, but possessing the Mangekyō Sharingan is enough to intimidate the ninja world. And according to rumors, this young man seems to have awakened to the space ninjutsu. If Lois cannot defeat the opponent and dies in the opponent's hands, wouldn't he be a white-haired person giving away to a black-haired person? But should it be someone else? The problem is that there is no replacement, and we have gone through 2 wars. Iwagakure's Jonin suffered too many losses, especially in the Battle of Kanabi Bridge. Not only the Jonin Stone and Fire were lost, and many elites died at the hands of Yellow Flash. There are not many Jonin left, let alone elites, and the Magic Leech is already quite powerful in Iwagakure, and he can't beat Obito. If it were someone else, wouldn't it be a loss of life? When I think of this, Onoki frowned and did not agree directly. Lois seemed to see through his father's thoughts, and spoke resolutely. "Father, I am not afraid of death. What I am afraid of is not being able to stop Konoha's ambition. That Obito is young, and I may not be his opponent. After all, I am the son of the majestic Third Tsuchikage. I will defeat him and make Konoha's conspiracy collapse, trust me." "Okay, then go ahead." Onoki clenched his fists. His face also showed a long-lost confidence. Yes, his son is not an ordinary Jonin. He can't escape even if he can't win. Then, Third Tsuchikage sent out Lois. Almost a few hours later, Huang Tu arrived at the outpost. A large number of corpses were found piled up in the center. There was a young man with a slightly ferocious face and arrogant black hair sitting on top. "You came? I am coming. You should not have come, son of the Third Tsuchikage, you will die." "But I'm still here, and you said I will die? Do I disagree? I am the son of Third Tsuchikage, and I may not lose to you." Huang Tu wears a red scarf on his head. The nose is very big, just like Onoki, and there is a beard on the chin. "Really? You're quite confident." The masked man who used transformation technique to disguise Obito stood up and looked down at him, looking him up and down. "You are quite burly, if it weren't for your nose that looks like Onoki's. Otherwise I would have thought you were not his biological son." "Are you insulting me? I just eat too much." Huang Tu was a little angry. "No insult, I'm just curious. Why do you dare to come? Aren't you afraid that it's Konoha's conspiracy? Are you so not afraid of death?" the masked man asked curiously. "Don't be afraid, I can sacrifice everything for Iwagakure," Huang Tu said firmly. "Interesting," the masked man sneered. "It's in line with my expectations of the old guy Onoki. He really sent his son to die." "Shut up. You can insult me, but you can never insult my father. See the real chapter in your hand, Wang Tu shouted angrily. He slapped his hands on the ground, causing the ground to shake. Earth Style split the earth and turned the palm. Click. 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 The ground immediately began to tremble violently. A large number of cracks appeared, trying to trap the enemy. It's this move again. Are you Iwagakers all the same brain? The masked man sneered contemptuously. Advertisement. Jump up and cast the great fireball technique again. A large amount of flames filled the air, and Lois was not to be outdone and used ninjutsu again. Earth Style wall. The ground lifted again. It turned into a thick earth wall. Withstanding all the flames, the testing between both sides is not over yet. Iwagaker's elite Jonin, the son of the third Tsuchikage, is indeed rich in combat experience and has very quick reactions, but if I use the time and space ninjutsu, I can kill him in minutes. It's a pity that Obito's Kamui is slightly different from my time and space ninjutsu. It's best not to use it indiscriminately, otherwise even if you kill Lois, you won't be able to blame Konoha. The masked man thought for a moment. Throw out a large shuriken and perform fire style at the same time. Fire style Impatience Claw Red. Phew. Whoosh. Each shuriken was covered in flames. It looked very gorgeous, but Huang Tu was not in a hurry and formed seals with his hands. Earth Style Rock Pillar Gun. There were sharp thorns drilled out of the ground. Bounce all the shurikens, and you come and go. It seemed that he hadn't really done anything yet. Until the end of the 3 moves, Huang Tu felt something was wrong. Why doesn't Obito use time and space ninjutsu? What is he hiding? Or is he planning to kill me with time and space ninjutsu? No, we have to fight quickly no matter what. Obito keeps delaying time, maybe it's Konoha's conspiracy. Then just use this trick, Earth Style Sand Technique. The words just fell. The ground began to shake violently. Lois used most of the chakra, and the rocks on the ground turned into 2 hemispheres. The scale is very large. This move is the one that barely suppressed 10 tails in the incomplete state in the original work, although this time he only performed it alone. It's slightly smaller in scale, but this ninjutsu is quite powerful. Even though it cannot deal with the level of 10 tails, it still poses a great threat to Cage, with 2 earth hemispheres attacking from a flank. Huh? This technique is not easy. Do you want to use time and space ninjutsu? Forget it, just use this. Obito sensed the crisis. His eyes were uncertain, but he responded quickly. He raised his hand and pressed it to the ground, his fingers igniting red flames. Uchiha Fire Formation. Whoop, flames surged from the ground. The red flame completely enveloped him inside. I saw the masked man tearing off the flame formation, and a teleportation technique appeared in front of him. A branch emerged from the palm of his right hand, and he raised his hand to pierce the opponent. I'm sorry, father. I let you down. Lois looked extremely shocked. No, this is not an ordinary fire style. At this level, even the tailed beasts can only stay away for fear of the Uchiha Fire Formation. He is worthy of being a young hero of the Uchiha clan. Wang Tu's pupils suddenly tightened, and despair arose in his heart. Obito, you can even learn First Hokage's wood style? It's over, I'm afraid my life will be decided here. You actually blocked my move? So fast, but you're going to die. I saw a masked man pretending to be Obito. This move. What? It's wood style. It can trap enemies and protect itself. The moment these 2 huge rock hemispheres touched the flame barrier, they were burned out in almost a few seconds. Wood style cutting technique. Suddenly, Lois had no time to react. Son of the third Tsuchikage, you are proud to be able to force me to use this move. A cold voice came out. Chapter 138 Reverse Thinking, Onoki's Psychological Shadow. Advertisement poof. Branches penetrated his body. Then it exploded directly, and a large amount of blood spurted out. Wang Tu fell to the ground, and Wang Tu, the son of third Tsuchikage, died like this. Actually, for the masked man, he didn't have to go to such trouble if he wanted to kill Lois. Even using the wood style is a bit redundant, but the cutting technique will kill you miserably, with half the body pierced by branches and exploding. Such a miserable death. The purpose was to arouse Onoki's anger. After glancing at Huang Tu's body and confirming that he was dead, he continued to wait. Until, Iwagakure Anbu witnessed this scene. After confirming the appearance of their Obito, they suddenly became furious. Uchiha Obito of Konoha. You Konoha broke the agreement without authorization and actually killed the son of the third Tsuchikage. You will pay the price eventually. We in Konoha need you to teach us how to do things. The masked man mocked disdainfully. And these Anbu didn't dare to take action. After all, even elite Jonin like the son of third Tsuchikage were dead. Even if they went there, they would just die. Then, I could only watch the other party leave. After the masked man left, Black Zetsu emerged from the bushes and couldn't help but praise. The plan was successful, and you left a few alive to witness the death of the son of third Tsuchikage. They will definitely cooperate with you. Yes, Konoha cannot get rid of this scapegoat. The masked man showed a proud look. All the techniques I use are known to Obito, even the Uchiha Fire Formation. Next, I will take advantage of Onoki's anger to seek cooperation with him. Isn't it too obvious? If you go there just after Huang Tu's death, they will doubt whether you are the murderer of Huang Tu. Black Zetsu worried. No, this is reverse thinking. I am just looking for third Tsuchikage to cooperate with Cloud Shinobi village, which I have already cooperated with, because of the death of Third Raikage. I don't know whether Lois is dead or not, it just happens. The masked man shook his head. We will go back in a few days. If Onoki's temper deteriorates, it will be difficult to reach cooperation. It makes sense. Black Zetsu nodded. Go now, maybe the time is just right. But, Onoki also had to let Onoki see the state of his son's death. And a few hours passed. Rock Shinobi Anbu returned to Iwagakure with Wangtu's body. Onoki looked at his son's body, gritted his teeth and said with tears, Uchiha Obito, Konoha village. I will make you pay the price sooner or later. Tsuchikage-sama, we want revenge. Yes, Konoha is too arrogant. We must ask Konoha for an explanation. Onoki was filled with grief and anger. Of course he wanted to ask for an explanation, but Konoha was too strong now. Not only is there a large number of Jonin in the village, but the most important thing is that Uchiha Kagami will not be able to take revenge on Konoha for one day. But, his son died, killed by Konoha's Uchiha Obito. How could he as a father endure it, just when he was in a dilemma? Suddenly, the space becomes distorted. A mysterious man wearing a vortex mask appears. Uchiha Obito. Is that you? How dare you sneak into Iwagakure? Leave it to me. Dust escape original realm peeling technique. Onoki saw someone coming. Advertisement immediately, murderous intent burst out, and he clapped his hands. A sting. The dust escaped crystal cube appeared in the palm of my hand. Feeling a sense of crisis, the masked man took a step back and the space between his raised hands twisted. Poof. The moment the dust escape block comes into contact. It was easily erased without leaving any trace. What, you actually twisted my dust escape? But I didn't use much chakra just now. I will turn your entire body into dust with this blow. Onoki's pupils tightened. Although it was a surprise, I still wanted to do it. However, the masked man stopped him and said with a slightly helpless look. That's enough, Onoki. I'm not Obito. Open your eyes and take a good look. I'm Konoha's enemy. I'm here to seek help from you. Cooperate. Not Uchiha Obito? Onoki raised his eyebrows in surprise. Glancing at Anbu, who had witnessed the murderer, the Anbu understood it. They looked up and down at the man in front of them, and then shook their heads in unison. Tsuchikage-sama. No Obito. Obito is younger and not tall. And the voice is different. This person's voice is hoarse. It's definitely not Obito. Oh, not Obito? Onoki glanced at him suspiciously. Although Anbu denied it, he still had doubts. Why did this man appear just after Huangtu died, seeking cooperation? This was something that made him feel strange. As if he had seen through Onoki's inner thoughts, the masked man said calmly. I have just been to Cloud Shinobi village. Fourth Raikage has agreed to cooperate with me, to deal with Konoha together, but Uchiha Kagami is too strong. Cooperation between the two parties alone is not enough, so I approached you Iwagakure. Of course. If you don't believe it, you can go check it out. I have no reason to attack you Iwagakure. Offending you will do me no good. Really? You have a grudge against Konoha? Have? The masked man elaborated again. The wording is of course the same as what Fourth Raikage said at the time. After hearing this, Onoki felt a little relieved. If the murderer was really the murderer, there was no reason to come to Iwagakure just after killing someone. This is simply coming to your doorstep to make people suspicious. Therefore, this person should not be Obito, but Onoki did not lower his guard, but showed a little surprise. You said you want to seek cooperation with us? That's a naive idea. It's not that easy to deal with Konoha and Uchiha Kagami together, and Uchiha Kagami is so powerful that all of his 5 shadows were easily defeated by him at that time. What difference does it make if we have you or not? I think your strength seems to be average, generally? Then I'll let you take a look. The scarlet eyes of the masked man flowed. Onoki, on the other hand, breathed a sigh of relief and said patiently, it doesn't matter, I know that in this world. There are only 3 outrageous existences like Uchiha Madara and Uchiha Kagami. Then it dissipated on its own initiative. I was very timid at first, but later I was shocked by the perfect mirror Susanoo, and I already had a serious psychological shadow. Looking at the mask, fear appeared on the originally disdainful face. Fortunately, Uchiha Madara has passed away a long time ago, and Senju Hashirama has also been dead for many years. Just for a moment, therefore, and seeing the masked man silent. The masked man was embarrassed. If he could use the full Susanoo, would he still need to cooperate with you little losers? This question is too disrespectful. Well, the chakra on the body is lifted, and the white Susanoo is enveloped. He is instinctively afraid of Susanoo. If we only face Uchiha Kagami alone, there is no chance that we will unite. Susanoo, you actually awakened the Mangekyō Sharingan? No wonder. You are so confident, you will also be fully Susanoo? I don't know how to answer this question, it hurts my self-esteem. When Onoki was young, he was beaten up by Madara. Certainly, chapter 139 Are these two Feng Yang crazy? The ruthless black Zetsu. Advertisement, the masked man looked strange. It's true that Senju Hashirama died a long time ago. But Uchiha Madara will be resurrected sooner or later, but that's not necessarily the case. And they don't know the current inside story of Konoha. Senju Hashirama has long been resurrected by Uchiha Kagami with impure world reincarnation. Wait until Madara is resurrected. It might scare Onoki so much that he would rise to the sky on the spot. Actually not long ago. The masked man explained a little and confirmed his position. I planned to capture Uchiha Kagami's grandson Shisui alive. I was about to succeed, but I was stopped by Obito. Obito is not weak. The time and space ninjutsu is as powerful as mine, but he has a fatal weakness, that is, he only has one Mangekyō Sharingan, and although Shisui also has a Sharingan, he is young. And still needs time to grow up. Maybe. We can start with these two people. You mean to deal with young people? That's right. Onoki frowned, but he was very happy in his heart. He was not a gentleman. Especially after his son died, he felt that there was nothing wrong with doing this. As long as it could deal with Uchiha Kagami and Konoha, it was a good idea. But the problem is, Onoki thought for a while and said, who will deal with Uchiha Kagami? As long as he exists, we will not be able to succeed. Don't worry, someone will deal with him. Who? You'll know when the time comes, but it'll take a little while. So what do we do now? Just wait. That's right, you only need to publicize Lois's death and let the ninja world launch a public attack on Konoha, and forget about the rest. Okay, I understand. The cooperation between the two parties was thus decided. The masked man glanced at Huangtu's body and couldn't help but smile to himself. Onoki cooperated with the murderer even though the murderer was in front of him, but the other party didn't know it at all, which greatly satisfied his twisted psychology. But he just glanced at it. He casually said, my condolences, and then left quietly. The only remaining target is Tsunade, one of the weakest great ninja villages in the ninja world. Planning doesn't need to be so complicated at all. He decided to come directly to cooperate without having to kill the third Kagami. Because the current ruler is the fourth Kagami Red Sand Scorpion, who has a blood feud with Konoha and Uchiha. Not only his parents were killed by Konoha's Hitaki Tsukumo. And grandma was also killed by the mirror, so the Red Sand Scorpion will definitely cooperate. Then, he uses space and time ninjutsu. Arriving at Tsunade, the sky is filled with yellow sand. Even the houses are made of sand, and their barren style is incompatible with other villages. The third Kagami is busy crushing slag with sand iron, and the fourth Kagami is busy making little humanoid puppets, but the two of them seem to be in a very abnormal mental state. Third Kagami. I'm so happy to have crushed a lot of minerals again. Scorpion of red sand. I made another little art puppet, it's so pleasant. Third Kagami. Hey, asterisk carrot carrot asterisk, red sand scorpion. Hey, asterisk carrot carrot asterisk. The two looked at each other. He let out bursts of iron-hearted smiles. Even the stranger who just appeared was completely ignored by these two people. The masked man was stunned and couldn't help but ask, no, what are you doing? Playing, we're playing, the two said in unison. The masked man immediately frowned and said, playing, aren't you Feng Ying? Don't you have to deal with government affairs? Advertisement, Tsunade has gone through 2 wars. There are not many ninjas in the first place, there shouldn't be a few left, right? Don't we need to spend resources to cultivate them? Third Kagami. Nothing matters. Red Sand Scorpion, I don't care. The masked man was numb all over and scratched his head vigorously. No, how did you become like this? Uchiha Kagami of Konoha insulted you twice and killed your relatives, so you just ignore it? Third Kagami. I can't beat you again and again, I can't win again and again, I'm in ruins. Red Sand Scorpion. It's good to lie flat. The masked man took a deep breath and said, I am here to help you. I am an enemy of Konoha. I can help you complete your revenge on Konoha, whether you want to avenge your shame or avenge your loved ones. It will be all right. Third Kagami. Haha, crazy. Red Sand Scorpion, you are always right. The masked man's mouth twitched. He felt like he couldn't hold himself any longer. What the hell? Why are they all trashed? All your relatives in the fourth Kagami are dead, and the third Kagami was defeated twice. Are you so decadent? Where is your pride as the Kagami being eaten by a dog? The masked man hated the iron, and deliberately provoked. You think I can't do it? Well, I really can't do it. But someone can do it. As long as that person is resurrected, he will definitely be able to kill Uchiha Kagami. Who is it? Their eyes lit up. I can't say. Third Kagami, Psycho. Red Sand Scorpion. Agree +1. The masked man was speechless. Is he going to say Uchiha Madara's name? This is not allowed by Mr. Ban, not to mention that he is now wearing the name of Madara, so he has to be cautious about many things. But if you don't say it, these two Kagami wouldn't believe it. Just when he was in trouble, the ground surged and Black Zetsu emerged. And even if the jet black Zetsu appeared, the third Kagami and the fourth Kagami still turned a blind eye. One was playing with iron and the other was playing with puppets. The two of them were speechless. The two of them manipulated sand and iron to form a villain. The other controlled the little puppet, and the two villains started fighting each other, having a great time. Oh my, that's so fun. Start fighting each other, but without using chakra. It's me. These two Kagamis are crazy. What the hell are these people riding on horses? My little puppet is still better. My invincible flamethrower is awesome, hee. Seeing the Black Zetsu savior appear, the masked man frowned and said, why are you here? Are you here to help me find a solution? He just hit the flesh with his fists, causing bruises and swollen faces on both sides. He showed no trace of the Wind Shadow's demeanor. Circle.operator, oh circle.operator. Obviously I'm the best. The masked man felt like he was going blind. Black Zetsu lowered his voice with a ruthless look on his face. It's very simple, you just kill the third Kagami and the fourth Kagami, and control another Kagami puppet to take over. Just like Kirigakure did. Yes, I'm here to help you out. There's a way to solve it once and for all, Black Zetsu said. Someone come quickly. You kid, I'll beat you up. I'm not afraid of you, old man, luo, fart, it's obviously my sand iron villain who is more awesome. The two of them were like little brats. Oh, tell me, the masked man asked curiously. Chapter 140 God Killing with Sword. This is the power of the Uchiha clan. Advertisement, kill Scorpion in the third cage directly? The masked man frowned. Although I have no objection to killing people, the problem is that Tsunade is so poor. There are no decent ninjas at all. Even if I use Sharingan to control it, I have to convince Tsunade. There is someone suitable, Black Zetsu replied. Who? Tsunade S-class rebel ninja Rasa, Luosha. Black Zetsu was stunned. How can a rebel nin be the cage? At that time, Rasa failed to assassinate Third Cage, which led to Third Cage and the young Red Sand Scorpion giving him the title of traitorous ninja. Now we only need to give Third Cage and Red Sand Scorpion a bigger crime. Black Zetsu said slowly. Human puppets are not accepted in Tsunade, and you only need to kill these two cages, and then spread the word that it was the Third Cage who discovered Scorpion's evil deeds, and the two of them fought and died together. In addition, the Third Cage and the Fourth Cage are now decadent. It is impossible for the village to be completely unaware, and Tsunade is a ninja village with withering talents. Since everything is so ruined, it is not difficult to accept a rebellious ninja, right? Besides, at that time Rasa assassinated the Third Cage. In fact, it was not his subjective will, but he was bewitched by the long-dead Ebizo. As a once well-known senior executive of Tsunade, Ebizo hijacked Rasa out of personal grudges, so he was forgiven by the villagers. Certainly, the premise of all this is that Tsunade is too weak. There is no decent ninja, let alone a young man to succeed the cage, unlike other people in Konoha who have no worries about Hokage candidates. Okay, just do it your way. The masked man's eyes flashed with fierceness. Immediately, he rushed over and touched the Third Cage with his palms. What are you doing? Be careful, Scorpion. This lunatic is about to attack. Third Cage looked solemn. With a wave of his hand, the sand and iron spread. A sting. The sand and iron formed a shield. It completely enveloped itself, and its defense seemed astonishing. But the moment the masked man's hand touched, the space ninjutsu was activated, and the power of space twisted the sand-iron shield into a big hole. Time and space ninjutsu? Third Cage and Scorpio looked at each other. The two people's faces were no longer relaxed, and their expressions became serious as they distanced themselves. Did not expect, this person in front of me actually knows the space and time ninjutsu? The two of them had been decadent for several months, not understanding what was happening in the ninja world now, and looking at the masked man became more and more unhappy. You wanted to cooperate with us just now, but now you want to kill us? You guy is really insidious. If you don't cooperate, then go to hell. The masked man looked very disdainful, except for Uchiha Kagami in the ninja world today. One of the 5 great ninja villages, Onoki's Dust Escape and Fourth Raikage's extreme speed, made him a little afraid. Dust Escape is a fusion of the 3 attributes of wind, earth, and fire. Moreover, it is a blood successor elimination that exceeds the limit of blood inheritance, not to mention that this old man is scheming and not so easy to kill. Otherwise, he had long since killed Onoki and supported the puppet to ascend to power. Although the strongest Raikage in Cloud Shinobi village is dead, the 4th Raikage is still young and is 1 point faster than him, lousy. Although his time and space ninjutsu is powerful. But it takes time to perform, and it is easy to fail once the opportunity is spotted. Advertisement from a broad perspective, apart from Konoha as the first ninja village, Cloud Shinobi village and Iwagakure are the strongest ninja villages. It's not that easy to support a puppet to rise to power. Kirigakure was originally isolated from the world, and due to the influence of the blood mist policy over the years, it gradually took control of the entire village. And Tsunade as the bottom of the 5 great ninja villages. It is also one of the most suitable choices for control, and he is not afraid of these two joining forces. Sand Iron Wing appeared behind Third Cage, floating in the air, and his tone gradually became colder. If you don't cooperate, you will die. You have hidden your head and tail several times. You are really arrogant. Do you think of yourself as Uchiha Kagami? Let you see the power of the strongest wind shadow. Sand Iron Boundary Method, stab, Third Cage shouted. A large amount of sand and iron emerged and continued to condense in the sky. Then, at a speed visible to the naked eye, it moved towards the masked man below, and the attack was very sharp. But these attacks don't work at all. I saw the masked man shouting lowly, and the white Susanoo rose up. He directly activated Susanoo's third form, covered in Watengu armor, and holding the twisted sword tightly in his hand. Susanoo again. Seeing this scene, both of them were shocked. It's still white? Who are you? Who are you from the Uchiha clan? Dead people don't need to know that much. God kill sword slash. The masked man raised his divine sword. The sword blade rippled and fell directly towards the Third Cage. This blow. You must block it, otherwise you will die. Third Cage and Scorpio looked at each other. Shay raised his hand to pull out the last scroll and pressed it. Poof! Smoke filled the air, and a giant puppet over 10 meters tall appeared. The appearance is the same as that of a scorpion, with short red hair, and the shape is even more amazing. Drawing on the experience of the last 100 machine drill, which collapsed like vegetables. The genius scorpion combined Susanoo's large-scale destruction technique to concentrate all the puppet defenses, and developed a giant puppet with larger and stronger defense. But it's not over yet. Third Raikage raised his hand and waved, and countless pieces of iron sand flew towards him. And it covered the puppet, turning into a 10-meter giant wearing sand iron black armor, holding 2 sand iron blades. Compound ninjutsu. Sand iron puppet giant, stop me. The two worked together. Controlling the puppet, the sand and iron swords crossed to defend. Click! However, the masked man's twisted divine sword fell. The huge force actually split the sand iron into 2 halves. What? The 2 Raikage were shocked. Our strongest ninjutsu is so vulnerable? Can't even resist the slightest bit? Ha ha ha. The masked man smiled arrogantly. You are too weak. This is Susanoo. This is the power of the Uchiha clan. Ha ha ha.